Thursday, everybody, on Collider Live.
Oh, I just put my pants. I can't make Halloween Horror Nights. Bye, guys.
Oh, sorry.
Liar!
Sit down.
Liar!
Thursday, and if you don't stop it, we're going to impeach you. It is time
Hey, can you do me a favor?
Sure.
Thanks.
Like what you're doing there. Topical show here, guys, already. Woo! Collider Live.
I just got that.
You got
Collider
that.
Live. Listen, it's a big day.
It is a
Not
great
just
day.
because the queen of destruction and mayhem is here, of death, Dorina.
Hello.
Dorina. How you look?
I
Look
haven't
happy
seen
you are.
you guys. I'm so happy.
I know you are.
Today's the best day
Ever.
Yeah.
I am super
Look at
excited.
the
Isn't
smile.
it, Josh?
What-
Aren't you excited, Josh?
This is the look of somebody's face. Normally, this is the look you see on Christmas from like an 8-year-old
Exactly.
who opened up their best toy. But it's very similar feeling here today. We made it happen, and Dorina is a huge part
Yep,
of it.
thank
if
you
not,
to
like
Dorina for
90%
this.
of it.
I'm going to brag to myself
true.
this one time.
You should. We've talked about this for a while. Last year, we made the suggestion that Joshua Makuga, should go to Universal Horror Nights.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he would do it last year for the bid. Didn't work out. But Dorina, who's got the contacts at the uni,
Especially the Halloween contacts.
she made the
Those
calls.
are my favorite people.
And listen to this crew that we're going to have at Universal. So you, by the way, if you're at Universal, and Makuga's going to have on that jacket from Heroes and Villains. So if you are there and you see him first tonight at Universal, tell him, and you're going to get the jacket.
Yep.
But listen to this crew. Dorina, Reilly, his lovely lady Julie, Joshua Makuga, me, Roxy, and Katee Sackhoff.
Yeah.
I mean, what a crew we're going to have
It's gonna be
tonight.
pretty great. We got Frank and Wendy helping
Of
out.
course. Oh, Wendy's coming too?
Yeah,
Oh,
Wendy's
okay,
going to be
great,
able to
great.
block through the things to get
That's right.
some
Frank,
nice footage.
Frank the Pumpkin King is coming to us, and I'll tell you what, I was really excited about that when I saw him on the call sheet because
He's a
I was-
magician.
He's a magician, but I was also worried about how the footage was going to look.
Right,
The
exactly.
second I saw his name, not worried about it anymore.
Well, I suggested it to Reilly because I was like, he's going to know. And also Frank, like me, huge Halloween fan.
Yeah,
So
and he's already got some cameras,
Ideas.
some
And-
toys.
and
like,
he's
I
got
think
his-
we're
and-
fitting you with
Yeah, we're
some
gonna do
things.
like
are you going to wear a
Amazing.
GoPro?
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that's the plan.
Well, that's why the second I saw that, because I was at first before Frank was on, and I'm saying to myself, all right, we got to have a meeting about how we're going to shoot it, what it's going to look like. The second I saw Frank's name, didn't have to worry about it
Yeah.
because
I walked in yesterday. He's like, he's with his toys. He's got
a million
everything.
miles a minute.
Yeah.
That guy is.
Fuck you, Frank.
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be our crew today. Let's
Why
talk.
isn't Cody coming?
Cody,
It's a great question, Dorina.
you didn't invite
Can
I'm
you
also
come?
looking for that answer.
But
Okay.
or can you come or no? Cause baby.
I would probably be able to go.
Well then come.
Why don't you come?
Yeah, that's cool.
wanna
Can
come-
you?
It's cool, guys.
You want to come with us?
Yeah.
Well then.
Is that what is that? Is that a real answer or you don't know anymore?
I got to work out my plans now. It's too late, guys.
Oh, come on,
figure it out.
You're 26 years old.
He just that kid.
27.
27. You can figure.
Can
it
you
out.
go home later?
I'll look into it.
All right,
Okay.
look
Okay.
into it.
Let me know.
But he's right though. You should have asked him a while ago, Dorina. That's on you.
That really
what?
is.
I didn't ask anyone. I just
No.
told
True.
you guys.
You should have been put on the list. Well,
Yeah.
Oh, blame it on
This
the
was
chick.
hold on real
I'll
quick. This
yes.
was your
fault.
This was your
I
fault.
didn't invite
You-
anyone.
No. You put this whole thing together. And by the way, you asking for a thank you on the email, go fuck yourself. Okay? I'm not thanking anybody.
I didn't ask
this.
for thank you. I said you're welcome, Josh.
Yeah, you're welcome,
You're
everybody,
welcome,
that I put this
Josh.
together for you. Oh, my, my.
But she is also going to pay for your therapy for the next 5
Yes,
years.
thank
so.
you. Appreciate
That's
it.
fine.
Did you hear
I'll
what?
just buy you tacos.
Did you hear what his wife said?
No.
That she knew she's sleeping on the couch tonight, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
No, I'm sleeping on the couch.
you're
Because
sleeping on
why?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have night terrors
Oh,
and
yeah,
punch her
for sure.
during.
Well, so
Your
I got
nightmares?
last week. I got really drunk with my brother, and I had some crazy night terrors. It's a lot of like thrashing and screaming, right? And then I was like, I'm not gonna be here Thursday night because she was like planning dinner, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be here Thursday night, and she goes, what are you? Oh, right. All right, you can sleep on the couch now.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right, so for a preview of tonight, Cody, can you play the best of Josh Makuga here? Because this is what we're going to hear tonight. Did you
Just like it's like Pennywise meets Roger Rabbit. Like what? How do you?
Did you warn these people?
Oh Oh yeah.
Okay.
No. I specifically sent my contact
Oh,
the
the-
video
of us.
of us.
Did they like
here.
it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
yeah. She immediately she's like, so this, and then on the phone when we were on the phone with Reilly this week to plan everything, all the logistics.
Wait,
She
you've
goes,
been
so
on the phone with somebody?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So,
No. So we were planning logistics, and she goes, so yeah, so this Josh McCouga person is coming, right? She wanted to make sure.
And she started talking about one of the mazes. She's like, yeah, and I think he might like that, based on the video Dorina sent me of the us person,
Right.
destroying
Well,
him.
Yeah.
I would like, if possible, that Katee is with him because just the footage alone of Katee Sackhoff, Starbuck walking this lunatic through the through the mazes. Maybe she'll protect you. Maybe Starbuck will protect you.
Yeah, she's way more badass.
Are
than
you
I am,
excited
so-
about any of the mazes because they also have Ghostbusters? Like they
Ghostbusters.
have other cool mazes too.
Do you want to do that one first?
Well,
No, we have to do.
No,
this
we have
first.
to do that.
Oh, we have to. We have to. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
yeah, okay. Well,
Do we
there
want to
goes
lead
that.
up to that one, or is that that's
No, we
just
have
what they
to.
want us to
That,
do?
No.
Yeah, because
Okay.
that's the earliest one.
You know what the mother bird does is they just push the little baby out
That's
of the
just
nest.
right off the top.
Just right off the bat.
Well, here's
we
the
got to see
thing.
him fly.
I think
Right.
that like,
He's so scared of us too.
Yeah,
the second
yeah.
that music starts playing in the maze, see you later.
oh my god,
You can't punch the actors though.
I know. Like-
you said you don't punch.
No, I don't punch. A buddy of mine punched
He
somebody
does
one
do this
day.
though during the
Yeah.
VR stuff.
But here's the thing: it's live. When it's live, like when I'm live, it's more of like a.
Yeah, he cowers more than anything
Yeah,
else. Like
yeah.
when we had the girl come in from us, he just hid.
Right.
Yeah.
Like a
He'll
lot of you
he'll be
guys,
hiding in the corner.
I'm going to apologize in advance, but a lot of you guys are going to get squeezed, grabbed, hugged, hid
Yeah,
behind.
yeah.
You might have bruises. I
Yeah,
apologize.
Katie, what was Katie's text? To me?
I
It
had
was really
bruises.
funny. Hold
I
on.
had bruises when we saw us
Oh.
together. Well, not not bruises, but scratches. You
Okay.
definitely scratched
Oh
me.
yeah.
It was
My
worth
bad.
it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not for Rebecca Ford, but it was worth it for me. Yeah.
apparently.
Okay, so she just said, "What's the plan? Is it like all film or just parts? What am I getting myself into exactly?" And then I had to let her know about about him. I don't
Right.
think she. You know how you felt the first when what did we see us? When
Oh,
we
yeah,
saw
yeah.
us, you didn't really
I was
know.
just telling that story. If you were listening
no, I
to
know,
what
I
I was
know,
saying.
I know, but
so.
you didn't know. You didn't know
Yeah.
what was about to happen, and that's basically what Katee is.
Well, and I also didn't know if it was for real, right?
Right.
Like I'm like, is Josh faking it? But
That's what everybody usually
he
thinks.
was
No,
not.
that's what everybody thinks. The
It was
audience, I think the
amazing.
audience still doesn't understand that.
Yeah.
Well, so last night I tweeted it last night. So we've been dog sitting at this French bulldog. He's like the cutest thing in the world, and so I take him out at night. And so it was a little breezy last night in West Hollywood, and so I'm taking him out, and the tree rustles, and he like scooted up next to me, and we were both like, ah!
Yeah.
So I have the same fear of a 20-pound French bulldog.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, I'm on. So
Man,
that
I
point,
wish you had gone
like
to
when-
Fantastic Fest with me and Haley, man.
I'm good
Fantastic.
with that.
It was so good.
Was everything fantastic? Was
Yes,
it like Bad
was a
Boys 3?
fantastic
Fantastic.
fest, literally.
That's so good.
Fantastic.
What is at Fantastic Fest?
So it's a week-long film festival in Austin that
Ooh.
Haley and I got to go to.
That's fun.
That I was only there for a few days, but it's basically a marathon of movies
Yeah.
at the Alamo Draft House, and it's all genre movies. So it's horror, fantasy, mostly horror. So your favorite.
Why
And I
would they
saw
call it
I saw like
Fantastic Fest?
9
'Cause it's
movies in like
fantastic.
3 days.
9 movies.
Yeah, I got
9.
to interview heroes. I got to interview Takashi Miike, who did Audition, and he's promoting First Life. I got to interview Tim Robbins and his son
Oh,
because
that's
they,
awesome.
they did VHS, which is an awesome freaking movie. I saw so many good movies. So I
Audition.
recommend if you guys
That's
can go.
That's awesome.
What's
movie.
Tim Robbins' son's name? Andy Dufresne?
Jack Henry. Oh, that was a joke. I thought you were actually asking.
No, I don't know. Jack
Get
Henry?
busy living, get busy dying.
He directed the
I have,
movie.
I have something that I want to do here. I sent a video to Cody this morning, which we watched. I have a feeling that everyone in this room will love it, but I don't know to what extent. Let's go all the way. No, don't look. All right. So I want you to rate it at the end from 10.
Okay.
My thought is that you will rank it the highest, and you'll rank it pretty high.
Okay.
But I want to see. This is the full video. Cody, go ahead.
Can we watch that?
Yeah. Watch. Keep it. Now this is a car for those audio listeners. This is out of Russia. I
The
think.
Russians, they love the.
But watch this car.
cam.
Watch these 2 cars. And so there's some shit going down. So if you're an audio listener, you seen this, Reilly?
I have.
Okay. So then, all right. So watch
I can
that.
still rank it.
Okay, fine. So the guy cuts off this little charter bus, and he's pissed off. And I don't know what they did, but he's ready. He's looking for some
Does he
shit.
have a hammer in his hand?
And he's looking for some shit.
That's like Mark G.
So just wait, because he's like, okay, come on out. So you see the guys there, like, okay, what are you doing, man? You want some shit?
Oh yeah, these guys in here.
Yeah. So now there's some guys. So they're all right. We're gonna come out. We'll fuck you up.
What the fuck is going on? Oh, no, they're beating the shit out of him.
Yes!
They beat this guy's ass. It's all people dressed up in like Mickey Mouse costumes. Look, watch the one guy. Look at the Mickey Mouse one. Keep your eye on Mickey Mouse. Watch Mickey. Oh no, not that guy. That guy. No, his head fell off, so he didn't want to get caught. He didn't want to get pinched. But I love that the Scrat one is holding his head and like waddling his ass off. He's got. I mean, it's amazing.
Was this for real?
Yeah, it was for real. Look, the guy got fucked up, man.
Oh, I didn't know mascots were going to come out of there. They're my favorite.
Oh, now he pushes the car. I don't know if that was too smart. Oh,
Wow.
that was beautiful. Okay, Dorina, rank it 1 to 10.
Anything with mascots, I give it a 10.
Riley?
Oh yeah, that's a 10 for that reveal.
A hard 10.
A hard 10.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
okay.
mascots are my
Okay.
favorite.
Okay.
Mascots falling preferably, but getting into fights is fun
Right,
too.
and do you have the channel, Cody, of the kid that we've been watching that jumped into the barbed wire and all that stuff? I think the best sound.
What was his name again?
Dummy?
I would just say the kid jumps into barbed wire, and because my favorite thing, I've been watching a few of his videos now, and my favorite thing that he does, there's one thing that I think it should be a sound clip that we take, Cody, and that's there he is, that's him, the first guy, he's superhuman. Let's go to the one, do the pumpkin one, do the pumpkin one. Now
How
the
many subs does he have?
he needs to have
26? Okay.
75 million. But listen,
Oh my
turn it up,
God.
please.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite is right before his line, right before he does it. Not this. This. This right here. My favorite line. Please pull this sound clip.
Fuck this shit! Oh my fucking god! My fucking elbow! My
Fucking elbow.
And he screams,
You
"Fuck
know-
this shit!" I love it.
How much?
shit!
How much would you?
Fuck this shit!
It's so good.
How much money would you actually accept to do something stupid like that?
What, jumping into pumpkins?
Yeah.
I don't know. If I'd be
Yeah,
able
the
to do it.
pumpkins I could do more
Not
than the
barbed
barbed
wire.
wire and the
Yeah.
cactus.
That kid is not even 30 years old.
You know, Ryan Satin has a sticker of him on his computer,
Oh,
like
does
he's
he?
met this kid before.
Fuck this
Yeah.
shit. He's a.
Fuck this shit!
It's really good. I hope he's at Universal tonight.
Me too.
Yeah, he's really
I
good.
hope he falls on Josh and scares him.
Yeah, what was that one? Cody? Whoop. That's true. So you already pulled clips already, but you didn't pull Jojoba yet, did you?
That's a thing that you asked me to do. I haven't done
Thank you
that.
so much.
So-
I had somebody tweet me yesterday. Said, "Thank you. I was sitting in my house and randomly screamed, maybe I don't want Jaboba. Maybe I want Bart." You heard the baby clip, right?
No.
Oh, I gotta play it for you.
Yeah, it's his baby on it. This guy, I like when he yells, like, "This is for you juggalos and juggalettes."
Yeah. I'm starting to become a fan. I went from thinking he was a moron to really enjoying him.
I think,
He definitely has a brand now.
oh,
so-
man.
He's so,
What a brand to have.
What a brand.
is that from the barbed wire? That one?
Yeah, that was the
That
old
was a
one.
good one. That was a good one. A lot of fun stuff going on here today, ladies and gents.
I think when everything's really going downhill tonight, like really downhill, I'm just gonna be in my head with this guy going like kind of laughing to myself
Yeah.
about this guy. Like he is a bright spot
well,
in a relatively
You wanna
dark
play,
situation.
You want to play
Well,
another one of
before-
his videos?
Yes,
All right, let's
please.
play another
Before
one of
you
his videos.
go into the first maze, just yell "fuck this shit."
You
and then
really
jump
should.
in.
Let's
Yeah.
see. Let's go to his menu. Let's go. Let's see. So we did the barbed wire one. We did the pumpkins. We did the barbed wire cake. I think we did that one.
Does he, he's got like a swinging.
How
one,
about
it
that? How
looks
about
like.
that one? Front flip onto barbed wire ladder. We haven't done that
Oh,
one.
yeah,
before.
let's do that
Let's
one.
do that one.
Yeah.
All right, let's turn it up all the way, Cody, please, if you must.
Barbed wire
What's this-
ladder.
Should we
What
call
is the
this
guy's
episode "Watch
superhuman?
YouTube episodes with us"?
Oh, yeah, perfect. Yeah, I understand and wish to proceed, of course.
Boo.
Wish to be-
Superhuman. So today I'm gonna do a full flip onto a barbed wire ladder. Just for juggalos and juggalettes. Don't try this at home, and I hope you like it. Whoop whoop.
He takes his shirt off.
It's like Peter Dinklage.
Oh, fuck this shit! Oh my god! Damn it!
Oh, that's the first one we ever watched.
What?
What do his parents?
I just
What are his
I just
parents
don't
think?
understand.
Come on. I don't think he's seen that.
You
in
know
a
what?
long
If he's
time.
having fun, good for him.
You remember, Kristian, when you were like, "I'm up for whatever my daughter wants to do in her life. I will
Not
support
this.
it." Not this. Not porn.
What's
and
evil
not this.
superhuman viciously attacked good friend Paul? What's that one? The one all the way on the right. Yeah. That
So
one. What's
this
that?
is one kid's channel.
Yeah.
Superhuman.
Yeah. For some reason, you got to refresh it again. Cody. I don't know what that
Superhuman
is.
is what it's called.
With two M's.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
with
why, that's
two
why you
others.
got to refresh
This
it.
video
because
Super
it's
Humming.
inappropriate.
Yeah,
All right,
make
what's
sure-
he doing now?
Are you gonna answer the fucking phone?
Nice guy.
Hey man, I'm about to pull in. Where you at?
Just come outside, dude.
How long is this video?
Out there.
1 minute.
All right, okay.
Now he's
All right,
got
so
like
he's putting on
some
a, so
creepy
he's got a
mask.
hood on, and
Does
now
he have
he's,
like a bong?
I don't know what he's doing. Now he's in a costume.
What
So
mask
now
is
I
that?
don't know. I don't know. Yeah, his friend just beat him up with a chair. Oh,
I think this is
Where do
wrestling.
these people live that
Florida.
this is what they have to do? Oh.
is this Florida?
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
okay.
Oh, that
All right,
makes
where's he
sense.
going now? I want to see him. I want to see him get smashed with something because he got hit with the. Oh, there he goes. There we go.
Hope you like it. Fuck this shit.
All right, that's fine.
Oh, animals are smarter than us.
Animals are smarter than us.
So stupid.
All right, welcome back
Man,
to the
there
show.
are
everybody.
few things that Roxy would not. She would just be
No.
sitting over there staring at the camera.
No, she'd be looking at the camera. She'd be friends
Because
mugging it right now.
because she doesn't like it when people get hurt,
Yeah,
right? But
you
that's
love it.
but that's asking for it.
Yeah, of
course.
Yeah, if they actually get hurt, I feel bad.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's I'm gonna laugh at
Yeah,
that
of
idiot.
course, it's amazing.
Yeah,
and,
of
and
course.
the and the fire hammer.
Of course, that's
Fire
my
Hammer is
my
good.
great
They
favorite.
did. There's a video. The guy that does the VCR videos, that puts the
Contra Club.
voices to the Arnold stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
He did one where 11 from Stranger Things is watching
Oh,
all of
I
the.
thought you posted it. Yeah,
and
yeah.
watches all the stuff that we watch,
Yeah.
and it was
His name.
great.
He
Changed it.
No, he
Oh.
Instagrammed me yesterday. I think his name is Matias Polacco
Okay.
or Polacco, something
I think
like that.
you're close.
His name. He lives in Argentina.
Oh, great.
And he's a big Afternoons fan as well. And he's because we talk about like yacht rock and music on that show all the time. And he built the Afternoons playlist on Spotify and
that's
sent it
great.
to us, which is
He's-
awesome.
I love that
Matias.
too.
Yeah.
I love him. He's great.
It's a good name.
We have a lot to talk about. Listen, this is one of the main.
Really, big news
Yeah,
happened?
no.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
look,
weird.
so-
I didn't hear about anything.
Just a little peek behind the curtain. Usually, the way that this show is programmed is that Reilly will text me like the night before, and he says, "Hey, here's some of the potential headlines that we can run with for tomorrow. What we can talk about. What do you think?" So there was something I think about the Irishman and all that, or whatever. it was.
Irishman,
Yeah, we'll talk
yeah.
about that. And I said, it doesn't seem like anything to leave for. He goes, I agree. I said, I feel something will break a little later, right? And
I get home.
yeah, and boy, did it ever. So we will be talking at length. Kevin Feige will be producing a Star Wars movie with Lucasfilm and Disney. It's a huge story in general, but I think that what we're going to talk about is really what it means.
Yeah.
Because I think there's two ways to look at it, and again, we're going to go into depth a little later. But it's either it's a one-off. He's in the family. He's going to help out with the movie, and then he's going to move on. Or there are greater implications from it, and we'll get into all of that. Do you have something to say about it?
Oh, I mean,
Do you have something to say, stupid?
You're so mad at me today, and we have. There's still
he's-
hours away from tonight.
Yeah.
Save it for later.
Just wait, yeah. How many
Dummy.
times do you scream at
Dumb.
Dorina that this is her fault?
Yeah,
tonight?
it's a lot.
Good.
Yeah.
On camera.
I
at least.
guarantee you,
gonna
I'm
be
going to wake
happening.
up. I'm going to wake up on Friday morning or like at the end of the night with a very
Dartboard.
sore throat.
Oh.
A very sore throat.
And a
From
dartboard.
screaming.
And a
Yeah.
dartboard with Dorina's
Well,
face
then
on it.
just I'll bring you a popsicle and you'll shut up about it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, remember that's part of our
Have
deal.
your popsicle and shut up.
That's part of our deal tonight too. Everybody's
Yeah.
buying him his drinks and his food tonight. So
No,
remember
but
that.
the important news that you miss is the Kevin Feige news. Actually, every single movie that comes out now is going to be a Star Wars movie.
Every movie.
Yeah.
Every movie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm down.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So we'll talk about all that in a little bit. But is there anything else that we should talk about besides we know you're getting the shit scared out of you tonight?
Yeah.
You're a scary person. You have great hair today. Can we show your hair?
Yeah, I need a haircut.
Listen to this.
Why do you have
look
great
at
hair?
this.
What happened?
It's
Oh,
it's
it's
just he's got the helmet now. It's amazing.
Oh.
I love when his hair starts
Wow.
doing this.
You could have like a nest of birds on it.
I could.
I know. I
That's
want.
very fluffy.
I'm not entirely certain that there aren't birds in here right
You know
now.
what I want to do with that thing? I've been telling him forever. I remember we tried to do it last year. I want if that thing grew out for like 6 months, what would it look like? Because that's like a
Sideshow
month.
Bob.
It would look like a little bit of Sideshow Bob.
Oh, so good.
I'm trying to think what
So
else.
good.
I like it like that without the gel. It looks good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you believe her?
Why would I lie about that?
Yeah, I
You're a
do.
filthy
I
liar.
like your poofs, both of your
Oh,
poofs.
thanks.
Yeah.
My poof's a little thinner than his poof.
You could.
But it's still a
Yeah.
poof. Yeah, I like your little poof.
Mine's
Josh.
more of like a
you
Jimmy
could cut,
Neutron.
yeah, he could cut off 2 snippets of his hair and
Oh
fill
my
your whole
God.
head.
Oh God, it'd be incredible.
Yeah. How
It's
do you do that?
ridiculous.
That's amazing.
It's ridiculous. When I'm going to get a haircut this weekend, and whenever I go, I always wear a hat because by the time I get a haircut, it's like this.
Yeah.
And I take it off, and the wonderful people at Supercuts are like, "What the fuck?"
Is that where you go, Supercuts?
Yeah. Yeah.
Come on.
So do they shave
They're
your
really easy.
Do they shave your head and an hour later goes out?
It looks a lot more complicated than it is,
Yeah.
but it's really simple. It's
Snip,
like they
snip,
do
out.
a few
Punch,
snip,
punch,
snips,
kick, kick.
punch, punch, kick, kick, Out.
You're
Do
out.
they cut nails there too for you?
You know what, Dorina? Fucking you and the nails.
It's
Dude,
just
how many idiot kids? That's not how you guys don't know where this is going. How many idiot kids when you were in school called you Dorito?
They call me a bunch of names because I didn't talk to any of them. Yeah.
But you probably didn't get Dorito in Mexico.
No.
No.
But
I mean,
because the way he said it, he was like Dorita. He said
No,
Dorina.
I actually got, because my name is, so in Spanish, it's Dorina.
Dorina.
But,
Dorina.
So they would call me Orina, which means piss.
Oh, that's not nice.
Yeah.
Oh, sick burn.
So you
Yeah.
hated everybody.
What?
So you didn't like them.
Well, I didn't talk to anybody at recess.
Were
so
you like Lydia Dietz? I feel like you were.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think everybody, all these kids, it would recess would happen, and then they would be playing and getting dirty and doing stupid shit, and I would just sit there and eat my bologna sandwich.
Do you like
Right.
it here
And-
more than Mexico or vice versa?
I like both. I mean, here it's kind of like Mexico and LA. LA has the best parts of Mexico. All the
Yeah.
great food. You can go see soccer games. You can go to all the Spanish rock concerts. So yeah, I like them both.
Spanish rock concerts, you say?
Yeah.
Go
Mhm.
on.
Very good. I think you would enjoy them.
I bet.
There's
Yeah.
going to be one tonight
Oh, yeah.
in the maze.
Yeah.
You have to go through the
You're
maze. in
gonna
order to
scream
get
in
it.
Spanish.
Yeah.
At
Sure.
the us people.
Yeah.
Like I legit woke up this morning and so tomorrow I'm going to San Francisco. It's my brother's 40th birthday. I'm really looking forward to the weekend. And it feels like there is an obstacle in my way.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
I know
yeah.
I have to get
You
through
think this is going to be therapy or this is going to make it worse?
No, this is going to be real bad. You don't understand.
So the
man.
last time you went into a maze like this was when you were a kid, right?
6th grade.
Okay.
7th
And how old
grade,
are you now?
maybe. 37 years
Oh,
old.
that's right. We're the
Right.
same age. So
So-
30 years later, you're facing your fears, Josh.
7th
I'm very
grade
proud
doesn't
of
mean
you.
you're 7 years
So
old.
how?
Good.
So how? Like
It's like an Adam
is that
Sandler
the-
movie.
But be
I
hon-
know math.
But be honest on this next question. But to be honest,
Okay.
How? Like, do you wish that we would cancel this thing?
Christian, I don't ask you for a lot of shit. You know this.
you
I
don't.
don't ask you for a lot of stuff. I don't call and be like, where the fuck are the wild berries? Why aren't we
Right.
in every match,
No,
right?
no.
I don't ask you for things.
No, that's me. I
The
call
pre-show,
it
but that's it.
Wildberries.
But you deserve the pre-show. Yeah.
I'd like to do the crowd
And,
warm-up,
and
the
you do it
live shows.
nicely. You do it
Thank
nicely.
you.
Yes.
I don't.
You don't want to do this.
I don't.
But
I
you
asked
think
you for the Rambo screening, and I got it.
Yeah, you did.
And if we get invited to the Bad Boys 3 premiere, that's what I want.
Yeah.
I want you,
You want me to take this away?
I literally want you to break my legs on accident, so that I have to go to
So
hospital.
here's what I'll tell you.
I'll do it. I'll break your legs.
Here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do for you.
We have Negan's bat
Yeah,
around here somewhere.
Here's what I'm going to do for you. Absolutely nothing. You're going tonight. It's gonna, it is going to be something that we are excited to do, but we will all be there for you.
Yes.
We
You
will-
can grab onto
yes,
all of us.
Absolutely, 100%. And dude, you're going to be running through a maze with fucking Starbuck from Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm
It's gonna be-
running through the maze. You
No,
can
you
run.
can't.
No. But you'll be
It's
walking
dangerous.
through the maze, but you'll be there with Katee Sackhoff.
Okay.
She can beat up all the.
I'm gonna write down a couple questions. I'm thinking about it. One.
Yes.
How long are the mazes?
Very short.
You know what? I
Should
think
about
each
about
one,
2
I wanna
minutes.
see.
2 minutes?
Very short.
Let me
That's
see
not
if
bad.
Katie's available.
Although if you're going to be very slow, that's another thing, right? It
got it.
depends on you.
Now,
Yeah.
are
If
there
you stop.
other people in the maze that aren't us, like at the same time, or do we go in groups?
Well, in the us maze, we're all us. Josh, get it? So you're gonna be scared by a you, by a
Dorina,
Dorina,
sometimes your
by
jokes
a
are pretty
Kristian,
good. That
by
was
Mark.
a terrible joke. Okay, it was terrible.
There are going to be other people in the maze. To answer
Cody,
your
come on,
question.
man.
Cody, can you text me the?
What do you mean they're
number?
gonna be? You mean like other people like us, not
I got
the
it.
not
Yeah,
the
like-
I got it.
not the scare actors.
Right.
I mean, there'll be people in line, but they're gonna let us go in because we're shooting, right?
Right. Because I want to see if she can. I want to see if Katie can call in right now.
Okay.
And see if we can.
Do it.
If we
Okay.
can.
But what does that matter?
Well, because I don't want other people thinking it's funny
Got
and
it,
then trying
right.
to re-scare me.
You got
Like,
it.
oh,
Okay.
this is funny. I don't know this guy. He screams. I want to try and re-scare him because people are assholes like that. People think they're not.
But
they're
most
not cool.
people that go, the people that actually buy tickets that are like me that are fans and go to these things, like they go to get scared. They like being scared. Like I get scared once every year, and it's a fun adrenaline rush. So they're not going to scare you.
Hold on. Okay, so you see all these scary movies, but you say you only get scared once a year, and
Well,
it's
like
at
once
this
or
thing.
twice. No, it's at another thing that you're not going to.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Which one is that?
Okay.
What do I
Yeah.
need to-
Delusion.
Okay.
That one's
No,
great.
that's no good.
That one's great.
What
Okay.
happens
Yeah,
there?
we want to do that.
Yeah, I know.
Now, can these people? Can they touch you?
I
really.
don't believe so. At Halloween Horror Nights, I don't think they can.
No, they
Okay.
can't.
However, there's also actually I'm not going to tell you this.
Okay.
What? What are you gonna say?
No, I just want him to see it for himself tonight. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Are you talking about the blood sacrifice before
I don't
we
really
walk
think
in?
that it doesn't matter. Like you could tell him
He's still gonna
every
get scared.
single thing that happens,
Yeah.
everything to
That's
be
true.
prepared for it, and it's going to scare him even more.
Yeah. But so what I was going to say is there's also scare actors in the park, right? Not just at the mazes. So as soon as they open the gates,
Phone can tell me this.
yeah. So
Yeah.
if you walk
they're
in,
walking
there's
everywhere.
people
I
that
don't
are
know if you
walking
should've told him
around.
that.
Well, he's gonna see them
it's
anyways.
true.
So I could be walking along like holding my. Oh, thanks for the
Your hot
franchise,
dog.
guys.
Yeah, it
I
can go
can't
flying
wait.
up in the
Yeah.
air. Yeah. Don't worry, it'll be over within 6 hours.
But they're scare actors. Though.
How
There's
long does
it's
it
like
open
just
until?
think of me with a
We're gonna
mask.
be there.
Like
We'll be there until 2 in the morning.
No, we're
I'm
not.
just kidding. We get there at 6. We should probably be there. I don't know, 9 or 10.
Yeah.
3 hours?
Yeah, man, maybe 4. I will have a beer.
gonna fly
It's gonna be
by.
awesome. You're gonna love
Fly
it.
by.
This is
Do
gonna
you want
be
me
the
to
one.
give you an edible?
No.
No.
Could you imagine?
Don't do that. All of us are no. Oh no. All right, let's get into some movie news. 'Cause I think that this and I might even want to go to a break because I think we're gonna talk about this Feige thing for a while. So let's get anything that we can cover real quick.
Yeah, we can cover
The fart contest or something.
if you want to do the
Ooh,
fart
yeah, let's do that.
contest.
Did you hear about that?
It's kind of.
Stupid. What is
I
it?
mean, it's
What's a
kind of
fart
funny.
contest?
It's
Did it
just
happen in the
weird.
fart tower?
You could do that. You also sent that Uber thing. Remember?
Oh, the Uber thing's great. Did you watch it?
I did.
So this is I don't know. You know what? I didn't finish it. Did you finish it?
I
All right.
I
so-
believe I did.
all right,
Yeah.
So play a little of this, Cody. This Uber thing that happens, right? So this guy, we can't watch the whole thing because it's like 5 minutes, but it's pretty crazy. So this guy, hit play. He picks up this guy, and the guy in the back of the car. Yeah, let's look at this guy. He's trying to get him to take him. He does like a scam, right, Josh? So he basically tells the guy, "Hey,
I actually need to go to the one across town.
yeah, What just happened?
I tried to go full screen and it crapped
Oh,
out.
that's
Hold
okay. All right, just keep it paused for a second. So this guy gets picked up in the Uber, and he puts in a location to try to get himself a little bit of a discount on the Uber, right? And once he gets there, he's like, "Oh, I actually need to go across town, but I don't want to pump in there. Can you just take me? And I'll give you an extra $5." And the guy's like, "That's not how this works, dude. I know what you're trying to do." And so the guy then basically tells him get out because he keeps trying to give him $5. And he says to him, and he goes to physically throw him out of the car, and this guy then locks the Uber driver out of the car, right?
Okay.
Yeah, and then he steals the guy's car, and just drives around in a circle. Here, watch, just play a little bit.
Go to the one across town, downtown.
Oh, you can call another Uber, but this is the address.
Go like middle, Cody.
This isn't the one I need to
Yeah,
go.
try that. Yeah.
You're a driver, so just drive.
I don't
me.
want your money. I
This
want you
guy's
out of my
great.
car.
I'm not getting out. It doesn't make any sense. This isn't where I need to be.
What a
But
punk
that's not my fault.
So
bitch.
just drive me.
I'm not going to drive you.
Why?
Because I don't want to. I don't want you in my car.
I'm not getting out.
You're not going to get out?
No, not when you can drive me. I'll give you $5.
I don't want $5. I don't want any of your money.
Well,
This guy's
take me
great.
out, so it's your responsibility to drive me to the right place. If you leave me here, when
This
I
is the right place. Look,
I love this.
He has a really
that's
nice
exactly where you requested to
car
go.
camera.
I'm not getting out. It doesn't make any sense.
Do we think this is a
I'm
sketch?
gonna
No.
pull you out
I
of my
think
car.
it's.
It's
I
not.
think they're
No, not.
acting.
Yes,
No,
I
do
am.
not watch.
You're not going to pull me out of your car.
How much do you want to bet?
Oh,
I
he
will
probably
give you
has a
$5.
camera
I
in
don't
there.
want
I don't see
$5.
the
I
big
want you
deal.
out of my
Well, there's a
car.
camera for things like
Yes,
this.
yes.
Yeah.
This is your last chance.
I'm not getting out. It doesn't make.
This is the silly part of this guy, though. Look what?
He got
Good
it.
move.
Oh, and he shuts the door.
He locked the door out on him. So fast forward a little bit, Cody, because he takes the car. Yeah. He takes the car and he drives. He drives around the block.
Later, dude.
He takes his car. Look. And this is the best. He,
Look at this smug punk man.
but he goes around in the corner, and then he picks the guy up.
Dude, I'm not really going to steal your car. What? I'm not really going to steal your car. I'll give it back, though. I'll let you in if you drive me to the right place for $5. I don't want your money. $5 or you can't get back in.
Oh my god. I want to punch this dude in the face.
So how does it end?
Does he have a Death Star shirt on?
How does it end?
Is this in Syracuse?
Does he get him out? Or right there, try that. Yeah. So what? So he finally decides to take his $5, but as a clever ruse to get entry in my car. Okay. So what's he gonna do? Okay.
Hey, no!
Yeah.
Nice
That-
work.
The reaction there makes me think that it was
Fake.
All right, you
Yep.
guys. So obviously this ride went completely off the road. Taking
I don't know.
That was.
Kind of a dick tease because I thought it was real up
I
until
don't
the
think
end.
it's real.
You went,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just wasted 2 minutes of our time.
I did.
Christian. You
I
really did.
admit it. I didn't see the ending, but yeah, see. All right, when we get back from the break, we're going to get full into what's going on with Kevin Feige and Star Wars. What does it mean? What does it all mean, everyone? We're going to find out. Does it mean anything at all except that he's just doing one movie? Or are there bigger plans for Feige and Lucasfilm and Star Wars after the break?
Hey guys, it's Perry here to let you know that Movie Talk is moving. We've had a great time in this 3 p.m. Pacific slot, but guess what? We want you to start your day with Collider Movie Talk, so we're moving. 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to get a longer show with some brand new segments, so tune in starting Monday, September 16th, 9 a.m. Pacific. See you there.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Sports Time. Well, you know, if you've been watching us every week, you know we break down the latest and the greatest in the world of sports, talk about the big issues, the big games, all of it with a rotating band of guests like Matt Nose and Josh McCouga. We've had Taylor Bisciotti on. We've had so many great guests. Now, if you want to see more of Sports Time or you want to try it out for the first time, remember to subscribe to Collider Sports YouTube channel for all the sports goodness.
Hey guys, it's Reilly here. Let me tell you about the Reilly Roundtable. You know it, right? It drops every Thursday on Collider Conversations, and I have guests from all across the space. John Roca, Gray Drake, Alexander Desplat came on at one point. We talk everything from movies, we talk about life, and everything in between. What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? It's the Reilly Roundtable every Thursday on Collider Conversations.
You people are
get it there.
Hi, I'm Corey Jandro, host of Collider Heroes, and I'm
it.
here to tell you we've got 20-minute episodes coming at you on Collider Video, on the YouTube, as you've always loved it. Plus, now we've got hour-long podcasts dropping every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the podcast because it's going to get even more sweaty on the podcast. Plus, every week, we're going to try to get some very special guest interviews, all of the people that help shape these movies and TV shows you love. So, video, podcast, interviews, all coming at you. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. Stay sweaty.
Well, hello there. I'm Kat Knapsack, one of the hosts of Collider Jedi Council, and I'd like to invite you to listen to our show.
Hey guys,
Watch
this is
our
the show that
It's
has a
on
bevy
every
of guests.
Thursday.
Just wait for it, okay?
Collider video channel, and it's also available in podcast form if you'd like to listen to our sweet voices on
We're almost
Collider
there.
Jedi Council, me, Kristian Harloff, and a bevy of guests, I say.
A
Talk
bevy
Star
of
Wars.
guests.
We celebrate Star Wars. We dig into the Star Wars news. We speculate everything about Star Wars, including your questions. So join us on Collider Jedi Council. You're going to have a great time.
What's up, Collider fans? Ryan Satin here from ProWrestlingSheet.com, where you can find the top stories throughout the week in the world of professional wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan like myself, then you'd be doing yourself a disservice by not checking out all the shows we do every week on YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. In particular, on Wednesdays, we've got a SmackDown recap show hosted by John Roca and myself, where we pick apart and talk about every little thing that happened on the Blue Brand. So do yourself a favor and go subscribe at youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet.
Hey guys, Reilly here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. You looking for a Star Wars fix? Well, Rule of Two is that show. It drops on Collider Video's main YouTube channel, as well as on Podcast One's Jedi Council feed. So go over there, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. We talk everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of deep dives and a lot of conversations that go all in. You know what to do. Subscribe, join us there, and rise.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Mailbag. A new episode drops every Saturday and Sunday in your face and in your ears, answering the questions from you fans about the world of entertainment, film, and television. Me and great guests from our sphere do the best to answer your questions from Twitter, from Instagram, and of course, email as well, every Saturday and Sunday.
Hello, how are you guys doing? I'm Kristian Harloff. I'm the host of Collider Jedi Council. We talk about everything Star Wars. It's movie news, it's canon, it's all of it. We take questions from you guys. How do you do it? Main channel, that's right here. Subscribe to this channel. But if you want to just listen to it, you got the podcast feed too. Apple Podcasts, you can listen to it in your car. Do all of it. It's Star Wars. Episode 9's coming out. And then after Episode 9, you got TV shows. So we're going to be your sports center for Star Wars. Do it. Come on. Be real.
Hi, I'm Amy Dallin, one of the hosts of Collider Heroes, and starting right now, you can catch our show Tuesday nights with a new Collider Heroes and a longer Collider Heroes podcast, where Coy and I are gonna talk your ears off. You already know that's coming. So make sure to go to YouTube, subscribe, and find us on the Collider Heroes podcast feed for all of that sweaty goodness.
The Witching Hour is all over Collider right now. You can listen to that horror-filled podcast with myself, with Haley Fouch. We talk about witchiness, we talk about slashers, we talk about space horror, you name it, all on that show on the Collider Factory feed. And on top of that, you can find an article all about Witching Hour every single Tuesday on Collider.com. Check it out, get scared. Hopefully you survive the Witching Hour.
And we're back on the last day of Josh Macuga's life. I'm just kidding. Welcome back, everybody, to Collider
R.I.P.
Live.
Josh, hope you sleep well.
Yeah. Hey, before we get into this conversation, we want to let you know about heroesvillains.com. You put in Live 15, you get 15% off any of this really cool gear. Look at this. Look at what Dorina's got. Really awesome.
Is that a purse?
Yes, it is.
That's incredible.
Fantastic relationship thus far with Heroes Villains. Go to heroesvillains.com.
Yeah.
15% off. Thank you so much. All right, so we are going to have a very special caller. And when we get that caller, we will be talking. I already told you it's going to be Katee Sackhoff. And when she comes. Oh, look at this. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us on the show, Katee Sackhoff. Hello, Katee.
Hi, Katee.
Hello, Katee.
Hi, Katee.
Okay, Katee, so
Hi, everyone.
we were previewing about what's going to happen tonight, because I know you, out of everybody, you're really kind of going into this blind because you have no idea what to expect with Josh Macuga here.
I don't, but I feel like I need to should I bring adult diapers?
Yeah, we already talked about that because this is what people don't understand. The first time they see Josh Macuga react to anything scary, they don't think it's real. Mm-hmm. You're arguably tougher than anybody in this room, so we're going to let you walk with him a couple times through this maze, but you have to be prepared that he's going to probably grab onto you a few times.
I think that you guys are missing the sort of I'm just going to be as scared as he is.
Ooh.
And so it's going to rub off on me, and then I'm going to start screaming.
Oh.
Yes.
This is great.
But Katee, I don't think
exciting.
you understand, though. I think you get normally scared. You ever see that video of that kid? I don't know what country it's from, but it's an old school video of these two kids. They must be like 4 or 5 years old, and they're watching some movie, and this kid freaks out, and he starts holding his friend, and he's got this ridiculous face. That's Josh Macuga now at 37 years old. And so, Josh, tell Katee why you're so scared of him.
Katee, pleasure to talk to you again. I'm psyched that you know my first name now.
Not only do I know your first name, Josh, it sounds like we're going to be cuddle buddies tonight.
It might just happen.
Bruce buddies.
I'm very nervous. I don't do well in this situation. The last time I was at a haunted house, I was in the 6th or 7th grade, one of those two, and I fainted. I've been known to really grab on arms, hide behind. It's a very loud, high-pitched scream. It's not fake. I get very, very scared. Listen, you may be my human shield. It might be like MacGruber when he's like, "You're wearing a bulletproof vest." It's gonna be very, very intense, and I apologize in advance. But I also thank you in advance because I may push you into fierce way as I stand back, like, "Get her, get her."
You can't use Katee as a shield.
You can't use Katee Sackhoff as a shield.
Okay.
When I start to get scared and scream, I usually start laughing hysterically, so it's going to look like I'm just laughing at you.
That'll be all of us.
Don't worry,
we
will all be laughing.
Yeah. Cody, can Katee hear any of the sound bites, or she can't hear it through the phone?
I don't think so.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. It doesn't matter. She'll hear enough of them tonight.
Katee, I got scared of a tree last night.
Did you really get scared? You got scared of a tree?
Sorry.
Yeah, you missed. I talked about it on the show.
When? Was I
Last
on this?
night.
Oh.
Yeah, you were.
You got scared when I tapped you on the shoulder at the office.
Yes.
Oh yeah. It's so okay, but Katie, it's gonna be exciting to have you there because, like I said, I don't think you understand what you're about to see tonight. It's something special.
I was trying to explain it to my boyfriend, and he was like, so wait a second, because he's coming with us.
Right.
And he was like, so he gets scared like Ellen gets scared when someone comes out and scares her on her show. And I was like, no, I think it's like that on steroids.
Yes.
It's worse.
It is like that. So if you know what you should actually. What I'll do is I'll send it to you. Do we have it on actual video? I know it's on Twitter, but I don't know if we have video. The Us clip. Do we have that, Cody?
It's actually on
It's
Collider
YouTube?
Live as a
Okay, so Katie, you know what I'll do? Before we leave tonight, I'll send you guys the clip. So what Universal actually did is they sent in an actor who was just like one of the, what were they called in the movie? The duplicates?
The tethered people?
The tethered people.
Yeah.
They sent one of the tethered people in the office, and Josh hid under the table.
Yep.
Well, first he hid behind Kristian.
What's that, Katie?
I think you guys showed me this when I was in there last time.
Okay, great.
The people from Us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the Us people. I mean, I would like to show that to Robin because
Okay.
I think that he would
He'll
then
get it.
start laughing and he would know what he's in for tonight.
Okay. Well, I mean, he'll know immediately the second we walk into the park. He's going to know.
Yeah.
But I'll send it. I'll send it to you. But yeah, look, we're very excited that you're going to be there. It's going to be a hell of a time. We'll see you tonight, and yeah, God help us all.
I'm excited. I feel like I need to wear like body armor in case I get shoved in.
You may want to wear
Wrap
shoulder
yourself in
pads.
bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Just get the old Battlestar gear on and just go into Starbuck mode.
I'll wear my Mandalorian helmet.
Now,
even better.
Now you're talking.
Even better.
All right, cool. Katie, we'll see you tonight. Thank you so much.
Bye.
That's going to be awesome. All right. So, speaking of Mandalorian, speaking of Star
Nice
Wars,
segue
thank
there.
you.
Really well done.
Look, man, some big news went down.
Oh boy.
Big news went down.
Star
Announcement that
Wars.
Kevin Feige, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we can call him the Overlord, he's developing a Star Wars
Or
movie.
the Emperor.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's kind of like rough. I mean, he's more like the captain of the ship. What's like a positive? He's a positive guy.
Right.
He's not the emperor.
No.
Yeah. Well,
It's not the Overlord.
He oversees everything, and those shit's going down. But anyway, look,
He's the architect.
General Sarlacc. What's the guy's name?
General Sarlacc
General
With the
Sarlacc.
eyeballs.
I don't know
You
what
know
you're
what I mean?
talking about.
He's like, oh, the crap.
Are you talking about Grievous?
Oh,
Akbar.
Oh, Akbar.
Yeah.
General Sarlacc.
Yeah. So
This should be your AIM name.
That's right. Kevin Feige is developing a movie with Lucasfilm and Disney, and there's a lot of things, a lot of ways you can approach this. The first is of course, he works at Marvel. They asked him, he's a big Star Wars fan. He's always said he's been a big Star Wars fan, and they reached out to him and they said, Kevin, let's do a movie together. So he's doing, and that's going to be the answer from anyone you ask over there. It's like, no, it's a one-off thing, or not even necessarily one-off thing, but it's a thing that we're doing together. I'm very excited, and we're going to develop this together, and here we go. So there's going to be a lot of that people are saying that. Now, there's the other side that say this is just a step for Kevin Feige to take over at Lucasfilm.
Right. Because Kathleen Kennedy's contract is up in 2021, correct?
They re-signed it, right? And
They
so
did they?
But
Like last year.
Last year.
Like right
Okay.
around Last
Yes,
Jedi.
it was up. It was up, and then they re-signed it.
Okay.
But reports, even when that happened, right, was that before she resigned, and was like, oh my God, she resigned, and no one thought that was going to happen, right? But when it did, there was reports, and some people had said, well, she's eventually, they're not going to fire her. She's going to step down eventually. So,
Do you like her?
I like her as a producer.
Okay.
I don't like her as the creative head of Star Wars.
Got it.
I think she is one of the best producers of all time.
What has she produced other than like being the head
Oh
of Star
shit!
Wars?
Everything.
E.T., Indiana
E.T.,
Jones, I mean,
Jurassic Park.
tons.
Yeah.
She's
Tons.
worked with
Let me
every
just-
director imaginable.
Let me just
yeah.
look at
Yeah,
her.
she's a brilliant producer, and I think that one of the things that they're trying to do, if they go with this plan, it's going back to that conversation we had the other day about Star Wars with the positivity inside of Star Wars. Because regardless, I know you don't like all the Marvel movies, but you can't deny that he connects that fan
Oh,
base
yeah.
and they get excited.
No, I think regardless of what you think of the MCU universe, that's never been done before. Like
Right.
what he's done with this franchise is very impressive. He's clearly very good at his job.
One of my favorite games is when you type somebody's name into IMDb, it's like the first credit that pops up, right?
Yeah.
It's like, Kathleen Kennedy, producer, this.
Right.
What movie do you think is her
Howard the
credit?
Duck.
No.
Aw.
But it's not like
And it's not
it's not
E.T.?
like her best movie, that's for sure.
1942.
No.
What is it?
The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Oh.
is
wow, I didn't know she did
That's
that
a good
one.
movie,
Yeah,
though.
it's a good
I know
one.
it's a great
Oh,
movie,
yeah.
but
so
you-
you
I
wouldn't think
mean-
it would be the first
Right,
one
right,
that pops
right.
up.
Do you think that it's a possibility that she could succeed someone like Bob Iger?
Not Bob Iger, but I do think that she could take another big job, and I also think she could continue to do stuff with her husband Frank Marshall.
Yeah.
But Kathleen Kennedy in the Hollywood business ain't going anywhere.
Right.
She's been
No,
around for a long time,
God, no.
and you don't want her to. Like
No.
for anybody who has grievances with Kathleen Kennedy in general over Star Wars creativity, that's another argument. You can't deny what she does as a producer. She's a great producer.
Right.
But if this is the case. If this, I mean, again, I am aware that there's two scenarios. There is a scenario that Kevin Feige is just coming in and doing a movie and leaving. I don't happen to think it, but it's possible.
Right.
I think that, because here's the reason why that's tricky if you're going to do it that way. Because if Kevin Feige comes in, does a movie, Star Wars movie that he develops with Kathleen Kennedy, right? But that particular movie turns out to be the best Star Wars movie they've done since Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
Then that's a problem for Kathleen Kennedy. Because then people are going to go, we'll do another one with him. Because it's working. Keep on doing it. Keep on doing it. And then why isn't Kevin doing more? And it's going to be like the manager that comes in to call a couple plays, or the quarterback that comes in after the old pro is hurts his leg for a little bit and then gets the starting job.
She produced Sixth Sense.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
Wait, hold on. Do you know the only actress credit she has? It's in an Indiana Jones film.
Ooh, is it Temple of Doom?
It is
Doom,
Temple
yeah.
of Doom. She's an Anything Goes dancer.
Let's go over credits after we get through the conversation. Go ahead.
Come on, this is all fun. I don't know what you guys are fucking talking about.
So we just watched 2 minutes of a Uber scam that
We
you
did.
made. So Josh can read the credits. It's fine.
Okay.
Christian. Anyway, my point. So if let's say Kevin Feige does succeed Kathleen Kennedy, like if he does take over at least I don't know another trilogy or more Star Wars movies,
Right.
then. How long has he been at Marvel? Right, it's like 10 years or something.
Been there
like
for a while.
Or more?
He's been at Marvel longer than 10 years. He's been running like the kind of MCU about a little over 10.
Right. So then who would succeed him for Marvel, right? Because
Great question.
we have people that like
He's gotta be
Tran
grooming
Tran. We got
somebody.
Right.
But
we got Victoria Alonso,
produced
right? There's
Goonies.
like executive producers that started out, years ago on Iron Man that
Right.
are now really big influences and part of that team. So do you have any idea? Like, I think those are the only two names that pop up to me.
I don't know who I agree with Josh. He's got to be grooming somebody if you're going to go with this plan. But the other question is this. We know that the Benioff, we know that the Benioff and Weiss movies are the next ones out of the gate, right? So are they going to go back on what they said about, because Bob Iger said, oh, no, we were ambitious. We're not doing one a year anymore. We're doing 2 a year. So this is the same conversation that we had about Rian Johnson. If Rian Johnson isn't doing his movies until the Benioff and Weiss, we're not getting movies from Rian Johnson until 2026. So when are we going to see a movie from Kevin Feige? Or they just say, look, it's Kevin Feige. We'll put it out when it's done. It doesn't
Or
matter.
maybe it's just a one-off. Maybe it's a.
Well, that's
Which is
the whole
possible.
question. What's the story? Is it going to be setting up a new trilogy? Is it going to be just a one-off, like
Right.
they're kind of hinting at? But then what's interesting is Rian Johnson just said that they still haven't figured out their game plan, so I'm probably going to be able to do another original movie
Right.
before that.
Right.
So there's that. We haven't heard much about Benioff and Weiss. I find it interesting that Sony came out and said, well, Kevin Feige's really busy over at Marvel, so that's why we're taking Spider-Man back.
That was just, that's PR.
And I also find it interesting that this came out right when Iger's book is coming out and everybody's talking about George Lucas.
Right. Well, I mean, that's positive, a little throwaway, like a little.
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit like,
diversion.
But do you
look
think
at
that
what's
that's
going
PR?
on.
Was that?
What do you think that's PR?
For Sony?
Yeah.
It's a PR spin.
It's just a PR spin. To, it's like, oh, yeah, because there's other. It's about money.
Right.
It's
I mean,
overall-
it's all about money.
It's all about money, but
Yeah.
but that's so they don't want
Which
to
is
get
why
into.
Kevin Feige could be the emperor.
Do you
So.
think?
But they don't want to get into specifics of money, so they say,
Yeah.
he's too busy.
Well, with great power comes shitty PR.
Do you think that this is like an ego play for Kevin Feige in the sense of like, okay, I've mastered the MCU. I've set out the plan for the next 6 to 8 years. I will script supervise whatever. I will have another person take this on because Star Wars needs me. And Disney and Lucasfilm came to him and said, we need a plan. We need you. Kathleen Kennedy is a great producer, like you said, but she's not a great Star Wars planner. We need you to do what you did to the MCU. We need to oversee
And
the
take
next
this
10 to
franchise
12 year
back.
plan.
So
that the fans aren't yelling at each other.
getting
"I'll
you
kill
back
you."
into this conversation and excited about it, right? You look at it like sports.
Yeah.
When was the last time the Knicks won a fucking championship?
Yeah, 70s.
Right. The person, and it doesn't seem like it's going to happen anytime soon.
Right.
But the person, whether it's the player or the coach that takes the Knicks to the championship, is going to be the king of New York.
Right.
Right. So, if you have Kevin Feige, who you said right now, he's coaching another team that's won shit ton of championships.
Totally.
They win a championship every fucking year, right? And just
It's like
won
what the Knicks thought they were going to get when they got Phil Jackson.
Right, but he just and Kevin Feige just won the biggest championship of all time with the biggest movie of all time, right? So now, like you said, he's won all the championships he can with that team. His assistant coach takes over and now going to manage the team.
Right.
Now he's going to manage the Knicks. Right. If he does, this is not guaranteed.
The
but
fact
if
that you're
he does-
comparing Star Wars to the Knicks makes me extremely funnily happy
I know.
because
That's
you
what
know,
I-
the fans are like, "Are you fucking kidding me? The Knicks suck. Star Wars is good."
I know.
How about the
I know.
Lakers?
Well, but
You're such a
but
nerd
either
jock.
way-
Lakers stink right now,
but
too.
either
Exactly.
way, my point is that if he takes them to, because look at the positivity already, just from this one movie that might just be a spin-off of all the people getting excited about it online.
Were the comments mostly positive?
Yeah. Most people, because it's, but I think that you get to a place. Some people, the negative part is like, okay, take Star Wars back, and that's not what this is.
Right.
This is more of what is this movie going to be? Because I just happen to think that you're putting Kathleen Kennedy in a no-win situation.
No, not at all.
Because unless the plan is do the movie with him, we have enough. Because if his movie doesn't come out in 2 years, at that point she's like, that was my last movie. I did it with Kevin. I'm out. And now Kevin did such a great job. Now now you spin it positively like her. She hits her last shot, walks off the court, hands it over to Kevin. That is a good way to spin it.
Right.
I mean, on IMDb, it looks like she has like 7 other projects in the works that have nothing to do with Star Wars.
Maybe she's done with Star Wars. Like if I mean,
If I
as
were
much as
her,
I
I'd
love
wanna
Star
be.
Wars, I'd be like, I'm sick of the fans yelling at me.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. I don't think she really pays
Yeah.
attention to it, to be honest with you.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, at that point, at some point, she's going to retire, right?
Well, I don't think she's going to retire. I think she's going to be making movies with her husband. But I think getting out of the Lucasfilm thing, and if Kevin Feige does, Kevin Feige's a massive Star Wars fan. He's a massive Star Wars fan. So if you have Kevin Feige, even doing this one movie, that if there's a plan that continues on, and there's already reports that he has an actor involved, and
He's already spoke to a big name actor for that he has in mind for the movie.
Remember, this is the same thing that any time a report like this comes out, Obi-Wan, anything, this has been in the works for a bit.
Yeah.
There were meetings that Kevin Feige had with Disney about taking over Star Wars. We know that there was conversation about other jobs that he was going to have, and things didn't pan out. But it's not to say that in that particular meeting, back whenever it was, during the time when Kathleen Kennedy was going for her contract, that Iger said, well, why don't you do a movie with us? Do a movie with Star Wars. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how the fan reaction is. Let's see how you enjoy it. And Kathleen will then pass it off to you after it's all over. It's possible. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. Can he do both? Can he do Star Wars and Marvel?
Hard to vote against him and say no.
Yeah.
I mean, he can with it. I think with the Marvel team that he already has, right? Like
I think
the
so,
names
yeah.
I mentioned earlier, like Trin and Victoria. Like those are
Exactly.
people that have been at Marvel with him for years, right? And so I'm sure he's already, like you said, either he's shaping somebody to replace him or
And he's built a
help him.
foundation.
Yeah.
The house
Exactly.
is, I mean, it's
What's
on
his
its solid.
What's his family life like?
I don't know.
I asked that because
Exactly.
It
It's a
goes
great
into
question.
It goes into it as far as, is he married? Does he have kids? Because
he keeps it on the down low.
I don't know,
We
because
know.
that plays into it. Because I don't know if it plays into it. It could play into it. If you look at J.J. Abrams, one of the reasons he didn't want to take Episode 7 in the first place is he wanted to spend more time with his wife and his family, and then his wife's like, you got to do it.
Yeah.
And so he did it. And the same thing happened with 9.
He's like, you're doing this, dummy.
Right, but it's so that could add into it. But going back to the first scenario, what if he just wants to do a Star Wars movie and Kathleen Kennedy isn't going anywhere, and it's just Kevin Feige doing a movie and seeing what happens, and he goes, and even if the fans are going, I don't know, it was such a good job, come back. Nah, it was just a one-off. I'm out.
And maybe he continues executive producing some of the movies.
Right.
Right? Like
Sure.
maybe he does. Like he
Puts a
plays a
stamp
minor
on it.
part.
But remember when
in the universe.
he did talk about a Star Wars movie, and he said, "I'm such a big fan. I like
He also,
I like to do that."
he also said Spider-Man wasn't coming into the MCU.
That's my point.
Yeah,
So
he's a
it's
good
like,
spin artist.
That was a good spin.
Yeah.
There was probably already talk when he said that, internally at Disney about this, and I think he was just biding his time, maybe to get in there and do something.
Now, there's a difference, by the way, because I already can hear the internet saying, well, why don't you call him a liar the way you did Matt Smith? Because Matt Smith's name was announced as being part of the cast. And now Matt Smith is... I understand that if JJ and all those people are telling him, don't say you're in the movie now because it's a big reveal, and he has to do it. I bust balls when I say Matt Smith. Matt Smith has to be a liar because his bosses
J.J.
are
Abrams
telling
did
him
it
to.
with Benedict
I know.
Cumberbatch, calling him John Harrison
I know.
instead of
I know.
Khan.
It's more of a
Yeah.
JJ thing than because was Matt Smith going to lose his job? I mean, I get it, but I'm just saying that Kevin Feige is going to do the same thing here, and because we have enough time. The other thing that was in this particular report, I don't remember, it was Hollywood Reporter or whatnot.
It's Hollywood Reporter.
Is it Beckham Ford?
I don't know. So they said that that one of the reasons they're not making a big deal out of it, even though this is a pretty fucking big deal, but even though they're not making a big deal out of it as far as announcing what it is and all that, is because they don't want to take anything away from Episode 9.
Right.
Like the focus has to be on 9. You better bet your ass you're going to hear a lot about this at Celebration next year.
Oh yeah.
You're going to hear about the new TV shows, Obi-Wan, all that stuff, and then Kevin Feige now is coming out to talk about his movie at Celebration. That's how you sell tickets to Celebration.
Okay, so if you were Kevin Feige or Kathleen Kennedy or whatever, where would you put the Kevin Feige movie? Would you have it like a prequel tying into the Benioff and Weiss series?
You're saying as far as time period itself?
Yeah, like
what do we want?
Well, not just time period,
want?
but to add to Josh's question, what do you think Kevin would be interested in making in the Star Wars universe?
I'll tell you what I'd like to see. I don't know him well enough to know where his interests lie. I don't know if he's I don't know if he's an Old Republic guy. I don't know if he's a prequel guy. I don't know where his Star Wars. I just know that he's a big fan. But because of all the people that he has contacts to and people he's worked with, and one of the biggest rumors and fan kind of nerdom that we've wanted to see so far, he's got a good tie-in to Sebastian Stan, right? So let me see a young Luke movie with Sebastian Stan. Yeah.
Yes!
Yes! So let me see that.
That's what I want.
Because who knows
Yeah, but how boring is that? He didn't even know what he was until he got on a ship with Ben Kenobi.
No. I'm talking about after Return of the Jedi.
No.
I'm talking about him as powerful Luke
Dude, I've
looking
been
for all the
saying
shit.
this on Rule of Two every single episode. I would love to see that time period, him rebuilding.
Imagine Feige doing that.
So
it's the
you're
Patton
talking,
Oswalt pitch.
You're talking between Jedi, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
Return of the Jedi and
how
Force
he-
Awakens.
Oh, okay.
But
that 30-year period.
Well, you could. I mean, depending on how many movies you do.
Well,
But
yeah.
It's very similar to like Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan takes place like 7 or 8 years. The series takes 7 or 8 years after Revenge of the Sith, right? So you're still getting the age range for Ewan McGregor's perfect for where he is in his life. If you did, Sebastian Stan is what? He's 35, 36, or whatever it is.
He's older than me, 37.
Well, whatever he might be, it's around the same age, or you can make him look around the same as right after
He looks like
Return of the
Nathan's
Jedi.
brother, yeah.
Yeah, and he could be around doing something, but maybe it isn't that. Maybe it isn't, because the biggest problem with that is that you run into the same problem that Rian Johnson and all these other guys run
he's
into.
born in 82, just like me.
Look at
37.
you.
Yeah.
Same.
But you run into the same problem that these other JJ does too. You're attaching yourself to characters that the fan base is very attached to, and that you're putting it on your first movie, Kevin Feige, if he does it, then all the expectations are going to be on you. Are you ruining the character? Are you doing this with the character that's not the character I know? As opposed to something that, like, let's say that Jon Favreau and Filoni are doing right now, a brand new character that you don't have any expectations for, that you're learning him every time you see him.
Well, especially after Solo, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say.
That's exactly right.
Which I didn't hate like everyone else.
Yeah, I didn't hate that movie.
I
There's
thought
a lot of
it was
people that like
entertaining.
it.
Yeah,
Well, there's a lot of people.
Yeah,
that
I
but-
don't hate it. It's there.
That's how I feel.
It's because it's not as related to I think the Jedi mythology is which is what interests most Star Wars fans. I think that's what happened, because Han is not. And he's
Well,
a
it's a
scoundrel. He's
but
not.
the
He's a
comparison-
space pirate. He's not.
But you're also asking people to compare him to one of the greatest actors of all time.
Right.
And that's a hard thing.
Right.
It's a hard thing to do for anybody. And I've said it a million times. People disagree with me, and that's fine. I think that Alden Ehrenreich did a great job acting.
Agreed.
I don't feel he's the same character that I knew. You can
Because it's an
disagree.
impossible thing to ask someone.
Well, it's very hard. It's very hard.
So,
I
do you
guess
think the fans
Ewan
would be
did it.
more welcoming for a Sebastian Stan Luke Skywalker?
Yes. Yes, I do. But
And
I
another question too, because we could have a lot of options.
Yes,
here.
I do. But I also think that it's tough depending on what Feige wants to do. Maybe there's a different story that Feige wants to tell that has nothing to do with anybody we know. Maybe it ties into Benioff and Weiss. Maybe he's going to go in and help produce it with those guys.
Maybe it ties into Rian Johnson.
He's making the next Ewok movie.
Which ties into the Christmas special.
Yeah.
But
also, though, we just saw Captain Marvel. We just had what's his name? Sam Jackson, de-aged.
Right. Yeah.
Could he do
Mace?
No. Luke Skywalker with Hamill, de-aged.
I don't think I want that.
Yeah.
It's for your first one.
Yeah.
Nah, it's too risky.
Yeah, because he built up to that through Marvel.
It's too risky. For your first one, you want to do Look, it just depends.
Also, if you asked that, sorry to interrupt, but the older actors like Mark, like, are they really going to want to do more of these movies?
And, and Mark Hamill said he's done.
I think he's toasted.
I think he wants it done.
I do think, though, I don't think that movie will ever happen, but I do think even Mark Hamill or whoever, right, especially Mark Hamill, would take a conversation with Kevin Feige.
Right, of
if
course.
Kevin Feige is taking this thing, because I think he's one of those people you're never really going to get him to say it publicly too. But I don't think he likes the direction of what Star Wars has gone and what it's done. As he said,
Hamill or
Hamill? Yeah.
I mean, I think Mark also would be awesome in a Marvel movie. I want to see him as a villain or something. That'd be great.
Here's what I think with Kevin Feige though, and I think sooner or later we have to do this. Get away from legacy characters and do. And I think if Kevin Feige, and I said this, I know I took out my headphones and yelled Luke Skywalker, but I think if we want Star Wars to really go to that next level and thrive, we need all new original characters and new stories.
Which is hopefully what The Mandalorian will do.
And I think that's going to be a good litmus
test. I'm saying you can do both, because you certainly can do both, because you look at Mandalorian and then you look at Obi-Wan, right? And Cassian Andor isn't a legacy character.
No.
He's a character that popped up in Rogue One. And you're going to build new characters inside that series. So they're still doing it. It's the same argument of there's no original material in film. There's tons of original material. You just got to go out and find it if you want to watch it.
You know all these books.
Yeah, a lot of them.
You read books.
Well, no, the Star Wars. I mean, the planet after the
Star Wars.
So, what are some stories outside the main saga? Like, are there in these books?
There are tons. Okay. There are tons, and that's kind of what I hope.
What would be your interest out of all those?
Yes. Darth Bane. I want to see a Darth Bane, but I want to see a Darth Bane series. But shit, man, if Kevin Feige was going to make a Darth Bane trilogy, sign me up. I would rather.
What's his deal?
So Darth Bane, you know the rule of two with Sith. It's like there can only be one to create the power, one to have it.
Right.
Darth Bane was the one who created all of that. He was a Sith that came up, and depending on how they actually take his story in the book, in the non-canon book that Drew Karpyshyn wrote, he was this really angry kind of 6'4" dude that joins the Sith army when the Sith army were thousands, but he realized that they were fucking killing everybody. They were killing each other because they kept craving the power. So he set off this fucking bomb, kills them all, and then he trained one apprentice.
Yeah,
he and that
wiped
was
out
Darth Vader.
No. This was 1,000 years before all that shit. So it takes
he
place
just
a while
didn't
ago.
want to deal with HR, so he only trained one.
But a Bane movie would be interesting. But again, a risk for Feige to start with because you're leading with a villain property. So I don't think that'll happen.
What about Old Republic?
Yeah,
I would love that. The more we talk about it, I think that would be where he would fit nicely. Even though Benioff and Weiss, everybody thinks, oh, Game of Thrones, this and this,
because of the politics.
Well, so
aspect of it.
So here's why that's very possible.
Yeah.
Because originally when they announced Benioff and Weiss coming in, they said Benioff and Weiss are going to do a trilogy of movies, right? And then they're not going to direct them. They're going to have some they're going to write and do all this stuff. Then a report like a couple months ago said they don't even know if they're going to do all three.
Yeah, they're going to write a treatment and then off.
So it is very, very possible that Kevin Feige takes over that treatment and he starts to do some stuff inside of the Old Republic. It's very possible, if indeed it is Old Republic stuff. Whether now there have been reports, is it the start of the Jedi and the Sith in general, which could be exciting for anybody to see?
The first Jedi,
first Sith. That's awesome.
That sounds fun.
Or is it an adaptation of the Knights of the Old Republic, which has also been heavily rumored?
Yeah,
which could be great and could be a lot of fun and. The video game fans would be attached to it, but not the same way that the Star Wars fans were attached to other, there wouldn't be as many expectations, is what I'm saying. So there's a lot that he could do, and there's other shit that we're not even thinking of that he could do.
What about a young Leia movie?
Could happen.
Yeah.
But we go back to the same
Princess
problem.
of Alderaan,
Millie Bobby Brown would be great.
Right.
We go back to the same conversation where we just had with Sebastian Stan.
With the legacy characters, that it gets trickier. And I'm, as much as I love those characters and the original trilogy will forever be something amazing compared to everything else we've seen. I think that I'm more interested personally in other stuff about the franchise. I love Luke and Leia and Han, but we've seen them. That's like a character story arc, and I'd rather get more into the mythology of the Force and that type of stuff.
Is there storylines in that Rebel show? Like with everybody always brings up this Ahsoka girl. Yeah.
Chance to bring her, you're saying?
Yeah, like what does she do? What does she power? And who is Darth Plagueis? Because people kept bringing him up.
Plagueis to me. Look, here's this. You asked me what movie I'd want to see. Show me a Darth Plagueis movie because, and again, this is I want to leave with the villains, but Tom Hiddleston as a young Palpatine would be great. Darth Plagueis was who trained and recruited Palpatine, and the one who was able to cheat death.
Since you mentioned Tom Hiddleston, I was also thinking, I wonder how many actors from the Marvel movies have already contacted Kevin and been like, "Hey, so you're going to put me in your movie, right?"
But here's another thing that I have concerns with, because yes, am I excited that Kevin Feige is doing a Star Wars movie? Absolutely. Do I think that if he had hold of the Star Wars universe, and my biggest problem, I've been very vocal about it, is that Star Wars has had no plan. You get a movie, you get a movie, you get a movie, go. That's
Oprah Wars.
Yes, it's a bad plan.
The Snow Planet. Ice Christmas.
Whatever it might be. This is
You mean
not,
Hoth?
Hoth.
Okay.
The Hoth movie.
Yeah, the Hoth movie.
You just go skiing there. That's all you
totally.
do.
Yeah, it's a Ken Burns documentary.
Yes. But this hasn't been Feige's MO. It has not been, okay, did a movie, I'm out. It's how does it all connect? How does it play forward? How do we deliver satisfaction to the fans who are investing in the story? That's a positive. What I get that upset, what I have a concern about, one of my biggest gripes with The Last Jedi was that Star Wars has always had humor. It's always had humor. When you go back to
But this one had Spaceballs humor.
Spaceballs humor, Marvel humor, right? Marvel humor works in Marvel movies. I didn't think that a lot of the stuff that worked, it was out of place.
It took me out of the movie.
Yes.
It's not that it wasn't funny, and it just made me feel like, oh, this is
Different
not
movie.
Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's
So
weird.
the example of that is Episode 4
with the skinny kid, Donald Gleason.
Donald Gleason. But Episode 4 had Harrison Ford. They're in the detention center. He says, "We're all fine here. How are you?"
How are you?
Boom. Boring conversation anyway. Funny. Jokes. But it fits the situation. It made sense that it would happen, as opposed to I'm pulling up, I'm about to bomb this whole thing. Oh, your mother's on the phone. Oh, what do you know? We're just no, all that stuff. Like it was there was a lot of goofy shit in there that just felt more Marvelish. Is that going to happen with a Kevin Feige movie? I tend to think not. I think he knows what properties he has, because the Marvel, and I'm not dissing on Marvel stuff. I think it works brilliantly a lot of times in Marvel. Ant-Man 2 is probably the same problem that I had. It was
Guardians Volume.
But
2.
as you
over
mentioned
the top.
earlier, though, this would, as much as we admire that these people are good at their jobs, these people also care about money, right? And so what's making the most money right now? Because we have fans like us that grew up with the original trilogy, but these new movies, whether we like them or not, they're making a lot of money, right? And so
not Solo.
But the other ones, I mean. And so if you're talking about Marvel humor and all these things that they're bringing into the Star Wars world, that's not necessarily Star Wars.
But wait, hold that though, because you're talking. The other movies that you mentioned didn't have that stuff. Rogue One did not have that stuff.
Last Jedi did. Yeah.
Right. That's one movie. That you said all the movies.
I think Force Awakens had a little bit of it.
Force Awakens had a little, but it still felt like even the joke. And I know people said like even the joke with Finn when he's talking about the boyfriend, the cute boyfriend, like. It still fit that scenario. It wasn't funny, but it still fit the scenario for where he was. The comedy still felt Star Wars comedy. Last Jedi just felt like a different type of comedy altogether, and it made me think of Marvel stuff, because like you said, the bits are funny. The bits are funny. Just didn't feel like it should have been in the movie.
I wonder if years from now, like in years like 3-4 maybe, because we have Benioff and Weiss, maybe we have the Rian Johnson, all this stuff is happening, but we take a little pause after Rise of Skywalker. Kevin Feige comes in and says, it's episode 10 I'm doing. Do you think they'll ever do that? Because
no.
And I'm looking right now because he's the end of the saga. But they said that with Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, but that was a different thing. Revenge of the Sith, they said that Revenge of the Sith because that was before Iger said I want to go buy the franchise and make a whole bunch of movies. They're going to stay as far away from the episodes for now. And build off.
Yeah,
go back in time. Look what Game of Thrones is doing.
Or
They're
he
going
could
back in time.
Sure, and I want that. I the more I say it, I want him back in Old Republic days. But why not pick up after episode 9? Don't call it episode 10. Here's a movie that continues with some of the characters.
That's a different conversation.
Yeah.
Can I be like the voice of the common man?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Always.
Star Wars nerds here.
Isn't that what you always are?
Yes, I would think. Is you lost a lot. You didn't like make a lot of money on Solo, right? Because people were just like, your diehards went to see it. The non-Star Wars people were like, meh. And now it could have been oversaturation because it was 2 movies in the same year. Or just what didn't have good word of mouth.
It didn't have good marketing.
It said Solo, whatever.
Came out in May.
Infinity War came out.
2 weeks
Deadpool
after
2
Infinity
came
War.
out.
Right. Now, for the common man, you guys are pitching me Darth Plagueis. Don't know who that is. Darth Bane. Don't know who that is. You know, this and that, whatever. You're pitching me Knights of the Old Republic video game. People are probably going to like it. For the common Star Wars person, if I went to go to my cousin and I was like, hey, this is a young Luke Skywalker movie and it takes place like after Return of the Jedi, remember, with the Ewoks, and it leads up to like the new one with Daisy Ridley, sort of. It'll be a 3-movie thing. It's going to be Sebastian
Easier
Stan.
pitch to a casual fan.
Correct.
No, you're not wrong, but that's
great because it is money.
Great point, Josh.
You know, it's a fantastic point, but that's the problem and the risk that you have running Star Wars at the moment, because you have to take that risk to try to capture the casual fan on properties they don't know, because if you keep relying on ones that they do, you might get another Solo. What you want to do is build new characters. You want to build new. So Guardians of the Galaxy comes to mind. Right now, Guardians of the Galaxy is connected to Marvel, which is an established brand. Star Wars is an established brand. You put Star Wars in the title, people are going to say, well, what is this? Well, you know, the guy that ran all of Marvel, he's doing this one. Oh, okay, that's interesting now to your brother. That's interesting to someone else, too. There's Jedi and there's lightsabers in it. That now becomes interesting. Well, it takes place of the first Jedi that was ever came up with. The first Sith. That becomes interesting. You learn, and now it depends on the actor. Michael Fassbender, Tom Hardy gets cast in it. Okay, now I'm more interested.
That.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And then it's about the trailer.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing with you. I want to see some of this old prequel stuff. I mean, I've been on the Better Call Saul bandwagon since day one. Because
I see where you're coming from.
You know what I
get
mean?
it, yeah.
Like if they had pitched it as a Breaking Bad prequel instead of the making of Saul Goodman, really, then I think we would be in the same boat of like, I can't wait for season 5 of Better Call Saul, and he'd probably be winning awards.
Right.
But people jumped on board and they were like, maybe it was a little too soon after Breaking Bad, or it wasn't pitched correctly. I'm saying, like, with a trailer, obviously, you know, big kind of things, but like if you tell people, hey, this is 1,000 years before the Star Wars movie, then that sells me, that sells a common fan kind of a thing.
Right.
I think, like, I mean, depending on story, whatever, but building off of what you have, relying on Old Faithful, I don't think is a bad idea. I don't think that if Kevin Feige comes in and he's like, listen, we have the established property. It would be great if we just need to tie it into the overall trilogy so I can make my Star Wars Endgame.
Right. You're not wrong, because that is a way to grab people. But the other side is he's also been very good at building out. And remember, Iron Man, the character, was known. He was not the iconic character that he is now.
No.
So if you
they were calling him the B character.
That's what I mean.
Leading up to
you
it.
can take, and like I said,
Thor,
Guardian. No one
any
knew
of those
Guardians.
people,
Like, casual. Your brother didn't know who the fuck Ant-Man was and all this stuff too.
I didn't know who Ant-Man was.
So
You know who Thor was?
Of course.
Yeah. Thor was
from Adventures in Babysitter.
right. And in the old Hulk scene, the Hulk show with Lou Ferrigno.
But you didn't know like Black Widow or Hawkeye or any of those people.
Right. So they were all built through franchise, and Kevin Feige is proving he knows how to build franchise, right?
So
you
maybe
can do
he
it.
is bringing in new characters to build other movies.
That's why I think if Benioff and Weiss are going to write this treatment, and then that's one of the ones, that's what Kevin Feige is going to come in to produce, and maybe, why not? Kevin Feige, what if they make an announcement at Celebration? Benioff and Weiss are working with Kevin Feige. So it's Kevin Feige, Benioff, and Weiss who are now producing this new trilogy of movies, right? So, the reason I say that is because, and of course, and Kathleen Kennedy is overseeing it. But maybe at that point, by the time the movie comes out, she steps down, let's say. And now, Feige's kind of overrunning it with Benioff and Weiss, and now he's running that trilogy of films. Now we don't lose that. Now we don't get that question of, well, when is his movie going to come out? Obviously, it's 2022, 2024, 2026. That makes the most sense if you think about it, if they stick to the plan that they're doing.
Do you think, since these people are producers, and Disney has already become quite incestuous as to who they hire to direct, I mean, is this something that excites you to have the same people always working on these things? Because I'd rather see a Star Wars movie. We talked about this, right? Directed by like a Catherine Bigelow, or directed by which I have no idea if these other really amazing directors have interest. Yeah. But is that a concern to you that they're just using the same people over and over again?
Not even in the slightest.
Well, because Kevin Feige can do what he did with Marvel, and he keeps finding these new great directors to
Ryan
come
Coogler,
in.
And then the
Russo
girls
brothers.
Do it for Star
the
Wars.
Russo brothers, right? You know, the Russo brothers are going to wind up showing up doing a Star Wars film now.
100%. 100%.
But that goes to your point, Dorina. I think you
the same people.
Same people.
That's what
so,
I'm wondering if you guys are actually excited about that.
I want him to do what he did for Marvel, and I would like to stay. Russo brothers, I'd get excited about. Ryan Coogler, I would be excited about.
The writer,
However,
the woman who did the writer, she's now doing.
She's doing Scarlet Black Widow. So
he's got a good eye for.
He's got a good eye. So do that. But to your point, I would like to see new names that I've never heard of, like I did with Marvel, where I'm like, who are the Russo brothers? And then I get a Winter Soldier, but in the Star Wars universe, who is blah blah blah, and I get a Star Wars movie that's rad. Great.
Right.
That's what I hope he does.
Okay. And
no,
Common Man, please.
No. Well, I'm just like from my stand. Here's the code. Like, so Amanda loves Marvel movies, right? She loved Guardians of the Galaxy. She loved Endgame. She loves Infinity War. Whatever. She never really sat through a Star Wars movie, right?
Not even the old ones.
No.
Okay.
And I mean, she knows what they are, obviously.
Did she try episode 7? Because Sadie doesn't like any of them, and she loves 7 and 8.
I think I was watching episode 7 and thing, and she came and she's like, Star Wars, and walked out. I don't know if she's actually given it a chance, to be honest with you. I mean,
it was a fight. It was a fight to get Sadie to watch 7, but when she did, she loves 7 and she loves 8.
She doesn't. She doesn't like Empire.
Wow.
I mean, I pick my battles. We've been over, and like if Amanda wants to watch something, I will sit down and watch with her. But if she doesn't want to watch Star Wars, I'm not gonna like push her to watch Star Wars.
Right.
What I'm getting at here is like, okay, so you're trying to get some of the common fans back onto the Star Wars bandwagon. Some of this fandom has really split the hardcore fans. Is putting Star Wars in front of the thing, are we just getting at the same people over and over again and hoping for like the push, or is like, are these movies, are we trying, because again, Marvel started as a comic book franchise for the comic book nerds and has gone to the mass.
And to the common man's point, which was going to be my next question, is we're seeing all of these franchises like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones. They're all doing prequel type stuff. And to me, I mean, I know that excites people, but I'd rather see newer stuff, because for prequels, these people are not really in danger, right? These characters are going to. That's
not true.
So that's my question. Like, is that what do you mean that's not true?
That's not true because a prequel, like you said, a prequel. For example, like Obi-Wan going into prequel, he's going to make it out.
That's what I mean.
That's what you mean for those. But what you mentioned was Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings. We don't know that these people are going to be, because it's thousands of years before.
But we don't know what characters are going to be.
They're not going to be any of the ones that we know. They're all new characters. So you're just taking
same world.
That's the thing. You're taking it into a familiar world, but with brand new characters, and that's my point about going into the Old Republic. Because if you go too close to what we know, then we run into your problem.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So, but going back to what you were talking about as far as the masses. So this is what Kevin Feige did, right? In Marvel. He took the hardcore audience. He got the people like the great John Schnepp and all these people to get on board first. And he went after that hardcore group that thought comic book movies just weren't done well. Minus, we're not talking about Dark Knight and all that stuff. We know that.
Do we think that first one was Iron Man? Like, do we think that was the first movie to grab?
It was unite the clans.
Okay.
And you got to unite the hardcore fans first. Like you said, the Star Wars fandom is split right now. I don't think anybody will argue that one way or another.
It's
split.
just a movie. Yeah.
But it is. It's split. And if Kevin Feige, being on board, brings that back together first, and he makes one for the hardcore fans first, because the hardcore fans will bring in a shit ton of money. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Yeah. But then if the hardcore fans and everybody else starts to hear word of mouth and the movie's good and it's got the quality, that's going to pick up, and that's going to start to get that mass fan. That's how you do it.
I know. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just throwing out questions to the crowd of Star Wars fandom.
It's interesting to think about what the masses are really interested in, right? It's like how do you figure out, okay, do people want to see these legacy characters again and again, or do they want new stuff? Like for me personally, I want new stuff.
Yeah.
And every franchise.
And I think you'll get new stuff if you put it back in years before, because like I said, you won't know if any of these people make it out. If you put it, hopefully, I think out of all the stuff that we've talked about, I'm most hopeful that he gets involved with this Benioff and Weiss stuff. That's what I would hope to hear.
For Old Republic.
Yeah.
Assuming that's what they're
the case.
doing. Yeah.
And I'll be okay with both versions, whether it's Knights of the Republic or whether it's the first Jedi or first Sith. It's because I don't know who's out of these new characters that I learned, because it's 1,000 years or even 500 years before. Right. I don't know if they're going to make it out okay, but I want to invest in them. I want to learn about them, and what I also
care about them.
And I want to care about them. But what I also want to see, what I was hoping that this new franchise that Kathleen Kennedy was doing with J.J. Abrams, that I don't think they're really going to be able to do, they could, but I don't think they're going to, is set up characters inside of this universe that could spin off into their own movies, right? There can't be
or series.
or a series, but there can't be a Finn movie right now. I mean, it could, but it's not going to crush. No one's going to really a Poe movie. No, but if
Rey?
I mean, Cassian Andor is the only one.
This is a Rey movie. These are
Rey movies.
You're right.
And but my point is, if you do these movies inside of the Old Republic, and Feige or whoever is running it and says, all right, this character, this Boba Fett type character, right, we'll set him up or her up, and she's going to have this arc, and we're going to see how the fans invest in it. Because if they invest in it, we got this whole way that we can go in a separate movie that'll come out in a year or two, and then the plan starts to formulate. That's where, I mean, there's no plan. Like, there should be a plan, and I think that having a guy like that, if this is the overall thing to get him involved, this is what could happen.
I just hope they hire people. And again, they're smart about who they hire. They've definitely introduced us to newer directors that we weren't familiar with. But there's really exciting showrunners out there that I love, like the
for
Brian
TV or for film?
For TV,
okay.
Like the Brian Fullers of the world, or the Noah Hawleys. That in fact Noah Hawley, I think there was a rumor that he was going to do Doom, right? He was going to do Dr. Doom. And so those are the people that I would love to, that I think take more chances and take more risks creatively, that I would love to see in these franchises.
Kerry Fukunaga.
Yeah,
Carrie Fukunaga.
Exactly.
I don't think you have to worry about that if he is the one who's going to come in, because I think that's what he's kind of building his name off of having all these, giving a lot of new people opportunities.
Kevin Feige is that guy that walks in with a plan. I think just that's who he is.
And Star Wars also, though, right now, when you look at television, going off your showrunner plan, look at all the unique and different and diverse voices they have just doing The Mandalorian. Right? There's so many new opportunities. They're already doing season 2 of that. You're going to see a whole shit ton of new directors doing Cassian Andor and now Obi-Wan. There's a lot.
Okay, so I didn't know that people didn't like the prequels until I started working with you guys. Like, I had no idea, because I love the prequels. Right? I really enjoy them. It's like shitty as the dialogue is, and Hayden Christensen is whatever.
They're finding a resurgence.
Yeah, totally. And I just have never really thought that Hayden Christensen was a good actor. Besides that, my favorite part of the prequels is the fact that there are Jedi everywhere.
Right.
That you got a Yoda fight.
Right.
And I know that everybody's like, well, Yoda... that's the shit that I like, and I feel like I'm the guy that, listen, I fucking loved Rambo because he kills everybody.
Right.
He's friggin' Rambo, right? I want to see the Jedi go full Jedi. One of my favorite scenes is I think it's in Phantom Menace, maybe it's in Revenge of the Sith, when they stick the lightsaber in that thing and melt the door. I'm like, the lightsabers can do that!
So this is a fantastic point, by the way, and this is not an insult to you, okay? No, this is not. There's a part of the Last Jedi, right, that tries to get too cerebral. It just tries to get too and
what,
you know what?
What part is that?
Just the part with what if Luke isn't this powerful Jedi? What if because he was actually shut down, he shuts himself off from the Force, and he's grouchy now? And
you didn't like that?
I would have liked it a lot more had he just snapped back into it. Looked at Kylo, said, "See you around, kid," and he pops up on the Falcon. The fact that he disappears into the wind, why? Why does he die?
I'm with you.
Why
I
does he
don't
die?
know.
It makes no sense why he dies. It
Well,
makes no sense.
Because it's the most
but
powerful movie he's ever made.
Get the fuck
But
out
are
of here.
you more upset about how it happened, or the fact that he died?
Died. And
Well, that's what I mean. So right, so then you're just upset.
No, and how it happened,
Right.
and how it happened, because but going off of Josh's point,
thank you.
There was not one lightsaber battle in Last Jedi. There were people who used lightsabers. There was never one. There was never one lightsaber battle.
I hate that.
I'm sorry.
I know. It's like you like what you like, and for me, that's what I love.
But that's. And of course, and I'm not saying that is the majority.
To each his own.
There's a lot of people like Reilly and Ken, a lot of people who love that side of thing, but there are a lot of people who watch Star Wars because they want to see fucking lightsabers, right? And
I mean, I wanted to.
And Jedi.
I think they could have cut Canto Bight a little bit and just had.
How cool is fucking Darth Maul versus Obi-Wan Qui-Gon Jinn? How fucking cool is that?
That's the point. We do need
one
more of that.
scene in all the prequels that I can actually still rewatch.
But there has not been a big focus in these movies on the Force.
Yes.
I mean, I get it. Last Jedi, the whole thing's about the Force. You know what I mean? I'm talking about as far as having Jedi versus Sith and all that, like where you had the massive armies that is canon. There was a Sith army for thousands of generations. You know, there were generations of the Sith for a long time. Even they said that the Sith have been extinct in prequels. They've been extinct forever.
Yeah.
Right. Well, show me when they weren't extinct. Show me when the Jedi had to fight them. There was a great Old Republic video game.
That's what I'm
where
saying.
They had
That
this
you can
battle
see it.
of all the Jedi and all the imagine that.
Yes,
to
that's
where they
the shit I want.
And I think that can happen. And I think that it doesn't necessarily you don't need Kevin Feige to make that happen, but you can
put
have
it in the Kevin Feige idea,
Right.
and when you see the shot of Infinity War of all the Avengers running, and everybody goes, "Oh my god." The commercial for Old Republic comes out, and it's like all the Sith light their lightsaber, and all the Jedi.
And not the way it was in Camino.
And running at each other.
I mean,
can you make that noise again?
It was Genosis.
I'm not. I feel like every movie now has like the final shot of people running at each other, and I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
But what the shit that I want, right, is show me like what I loved about the prequels is it show me the power of the Jedi. The thing I didn't get from Last Jedi, and nobody gives a shit about my opinion on Last Jedi, and I don't care. I was really bored at points because there wasn't fucking fighting.
It wasn't fun. It wasn't a fun movie.
It wasn't a fun movie.
But
that's to his point, and I get it. The cerebral kind of.
But it wasn't fun. Force Awakens was fun. Rogue One was fun.
Yeah.
Rogue
One is my favorite Star Wars.
Solo is fun.
Yeah.
Last Jedi is the only movie that's not fun.
Correct.
And it's not supposed to be fun, but Empire Strikes Back as Empire Strikes Back is a fun movie.
Yeah.
Even though it's dark, it's fun.
I mean, I guess that is all fun. Fun is relative, right? Because there were parts of Last Jedi that I actually really loved, and they're not necessarily fun, as in there's action going on. But I love the scene with Yoda and Luke. I love the scene.
Great point.
Anything that's fun for me because as a kid, that actually made me it made me emotional watching that scene because that was probably one of the most magical moments as a kid is watching Empire and Yoda teaching Luke, and for them to be reunited.
That connected. That connected.
What about? I mean, I had the best time when Rey gets the lightsaber after killing Snoke and the Praetorian Guards, and that was fucking.
That was amazing.
There are moments.
That was amazing.
We're talking about from moments from overall tone.
Right.
Moments don't dictate tone all the way through.
Basically, what happened on that island is Rey went up and knocked on the fucking emerald door after the yellow brick road, and he was like, "Meh," and slammed the window.
He was the Grouchy Wizard for a long time.
I don't want Grumpy. I want Luke effing Skywalker killing some motherfuckers.
I don't mind. I don't mind Grumpy. I don't mind
too.
Grumpy with a good payoff. I just didn't think the payoff was good. Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Yeah,
all right,
I know.
We're going into a whole different conversation here. I do want to open up the phone lines. So I want to get the fans involved in here too.
After the 11:30 break.
Yeah, we'll do a break. We'll do a break now. But we will talk about more stuff. If you guys want any thoughts on Kevin Feige, will this be a one-off? Will it just be a one-off, or do you think because you're announcing it, you're making a big deal out of it? Disney knew if you release this information, this type of conversation is going to happen in the fandom. The Twitter is going to explode about it. All the shit's going to happen about it.
The Twitter.
So you guys, I want to get your take. So when we come back, please call in and give us your take on what is your particular opinion on this Kevin Feige situation. Coming back afterwards.
Hey guys, it's Perry here to let you know that Movie Talk is moving. We've had a great time in this 3 p.m. Pacific slot, but guess what? We want you to start your day with Collider Movie Talk, so we're moving. 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're going to get a longer show with some brand new segments, so tune in starting Monday, September 16th, 9 a.m. Pacific. See you there.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Sports Time. Well, if you've been watching us every week, we break down the latest and the greatest in the world of sports, talk about the big issues, the big games, all of it with a rotating band of guests like Matt Nose and Josh McCouga. We've had Taylor Bisciotti on. We've had so many great guests. Now, if you want to see more of Sports Time or you want to try it out for the first time, remember to subscribe to Collider Sports YouTube channel for all the sports goodness.
Hey guys, it's Reilly here. Let me tell you about the Reilly Roundtable. You know it, right? It drops every Thursday on Collider Conversations, and I have guests from all across the space. John Roca, Gray Drake, Alexander Desplat came on at one point. We talk everything from movies, we talk about life, and everything in between. What do you want to hear? What do you want to talk about? It's the Reilly Roundtable every Thursday on Collider Conversations. You get it there.
Hi, I'm Coy Jandro, host of Collider Heroes, and I'm here to tell you we've got 20-minute episodes coming at you on Collider Video, on the YouTube, as you've always loved it. Plus, now we've got hour-long podcasts dropping every Thursday, so make sure to subscribe to the podcast because it's going to get even more sweaty on the podcast. Plus, every week, we're going to try to get some very special guest interviews, all of the people that help shape these movies and TV shows you love. So, video, podcast, interviews, all coming at you. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks so much, guys. Stay sweaty.
Well, hello there. I'm Katee Sackhoff, one of the hosts of Collider Jedi Council, and I'd like to invite you to listen to our show, watch our show. It's on every Thursdays on the Collider Video channel, and it's also available in podcast form if you'd like to listen to our sweet voices on Collider Jedi Council, me, Kristian Harloff, and a bevy of guests, I say, talk Star Wars. We celebrate Star Wars. We dig into the Star Wars news. We speculate everything about Star Wars, including your questions. So join us on Collider Jedi Council. You're going to have a great time.
What's up, Collider fans? Ryan Satin here from ProWrestlingSheet.com, where you can find the top stories throughout the week in the world of professional wrestling. If you're a wrestling fan like myself, then you'd be doing yourself a disservice by not checking out all the shows we do every week on YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. In particular, on Wednesdays, we've got a SmackDown recap show hosted by John Roca and myself, where we pick apart and talk about every little thing that happened on the Blue Brand. So do yourself a favor and go subscribe at youtube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet.
Hey guys, Reilly here, and let me tell you about Rule of Two. You looking for a Star Wars fix? Well, Rule of Two is that show. It drops in on Collider Video's main YouTube channel, as well as on Podcast One's Jedi Council feed. So go over there, subscribe, share it with your friends. It's hosted by myself and Mark Fernandez. We talk everything in the Star Wars universe with a lot of deep dives and a lot of conversations that go all in. You know what to do. Subscribe, join us there, and rise.
Hey everyone, John Roca here, the host of Collider Mailbag. A new episode drops every Saturday and Sunday in your face and in your ears, answering the questions from you fans about the world of entertainment, film, and television. Me and great guests from our sphere do the best to answer your questions from Twitter, from Instagram, and of course, email as well, every Saturday and Sunday.
Hello, how are you guys doing? I'm Kristian Harloff. I'm the host of Collider Jedi Council. We talk about everything Star Wars. It's movie news, it's canon, it's all of it. We take questions from you guys. How do you do it? Main channel, that's right here. Subscribe to this channel. But if you want to just listen to it, you got the podcast feed too. Apple Podcasts, you can listen to it in your car. Do all of it. It's Star Wars. Episode 9's coming out. And then after Episode 9, you got TV shows. So we're going to be your sports center for Star Wars. Do it. Come on. Be real.
Hi, I'm Amy Dallin, one of the hosts of Collider Heroes, and starting right now, you can catch our show Tuesday nights with a new Collider Heroes and a longer Collider Heroes podcast, where Coy and I are gonna talk your ears off. You already know that's coming. So make sure to go to YouTube, subscribe, and find us on the Collider Heroes podcast feed for all of that sweaty goodness.
The Witching Hour is all over Collider right now. You can listen to that horror-filled podcast with myself, with Haley Fouch. We talk about witchiness, we talk about slashers, we talk about space horror, you name it, all on that show on the Collider Factory feed. And on top of that, you can find an article all about Witching Hour every single Tuesday on Collider.com. Check it out, get scared. Hopefully you survive the Witching Hour.
Look at them. They have no idea they're live right now. Even though I told them, hey guys, we're live. Reilly, Kristian, we're live. We're literally live right now. There we go. Thank you, Josh. All right.
Back.
Hey guys, we're live.
Welcome back. Sorry, guys. You had a really cool story.
Yeah.
So John Roca just interviewed a legend, an absolute legend. So I was, I knew he was coming this morning. I saw his name on the door, and it's of course Ray Boom Boom Mancini, legendary boxer. And as I was walking out just now during a break, I saw him. I shook his hand and said hello to him. And Makuga, as Makuga does, just kind of walking around aimlessly. And I said, I was like, you saw who it was, right? He's like, no. And I go, Boom Boom Mancini. He's like, what? Huh? What? And I said, right there, dude. And he runs over to him. I got a picture.
Yeah.
It's like you would have been mad at yourself if you didn't get a picture.
I mean, my dad and uncles talk about going to see Boom Boom Mancini because, first of all, he's Italian, so everybody, if you're Italian, Rocky Marciano and Boom Boom Mancini were like our boxers, right? And Youngstown, Ohio, where he's from, is only about an hour, if that, from Pittsburgh. And there's like the old story of the Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Youngstown Mafia, and there was like an underground railroad of mafioso that like went all across that. And my dad talking about, the old Friday night fights where they go see Boom Boom Mancini when he was like 21, 22 years old. I mean, one of the greatest right hands in the history of boxing.
It was awesome.
He
was a sweet guy.
He seems really cool.
He's very nice.
Yeah, and I love how Josh just looks like Office Josh, and then as soon as something like that happens, it's like he turns into toddler Josh. And like his eyes open really wide, so excited.
So look at that. On the day you're about to lose your shit and poop in your pants, you get to meet Boom Boom.
Sometimes it evens out.
Yeah.
Karma.
So it was worth it today now.
Totally.
Look at that.
Life is all about balance.
I shook the man's hand.
He took a picture with him. Awesome. You gotta send that with you.
And tonight you get to take a picture with tethered people. That's great.
Yeah, but you're still not going to Rod Stewart tomorrow night. I am. Okay.
What?
Oh yeah, I didn't tell you this.
No.
So the story goes that I'm taking my daughter and my wife to Rod Stewart.
That's awesome.
The Hollywood Bowl.
Wow. That's pretty
cool. Which will be good because I want my daughter for all the shit that my daughter. When she's 8 and I love her to death, but she's a pain in the ass, like most kids are.
Well, she's your kid.
She's
so
my
that
kid.
Makes sense.
But now, every time she asks, when people ask her later on, like 20, 30 years, what her first concert is, she has to say Rod Stewart.
That's great.
That's pretty good concert. Oh, such a good song.
First concert?
Mine?
Yeah.
It might have been Def Leppard.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
With Bryan Adams opening up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very
Dorina,
My first concert is probably symphonic concert because nerd.
Yeah. And I say that.
Yeah.
Rod
Genesis.
Genesis.
Yeah,
Rod Stewart's got
You
some
saw
fucking
Genesis?
hits.
I only saw Peter Gabriel, but not Genesis.
Billy Joel Stormfront.
All right, Cody Hall,
Concert.
you've turned on
Sexy was
the phone lines. We're going to talk to the audience here and get their thoughts on the Kevin Feige
Can I tell
situation.
you a quick Rod Stewart story? Just like it's super fast. So we're planning
I
for my
have one
brother's.
that I can't talk
we're planning
about.
for my brother's wedding, right? And my mom's there, and we're talking to the DJ, and she's like, "I'd like to ask you a question. Will you have the Rod Stewart double CD greatest hits?" And my brother's like, "I'm sure he can get Rod Stewart." I'm just like, "Okay, that's all I was asking."
He's got a lot of great ones.
Yeah.
And I was looking at the set list. I've been listening to a lot because I knew I was going tomorrow. So
He's
I'm pretty.
Remind me to tell you a story after the show.
Something filthy.
Huh?
All right.
He's definitely not known as a ladies' man.
Right.
No, it's
I
not
don't think
about
it has
that.
anything to do with that.
No.
Nothing
It's a music industry story.
Okay, Cody wants to get out of this story. Hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we got?
Hey, this is Billy from Milwaukee.
Hey, Billy. What's
Hello,
going on,
Billy.
Billy? So what? You got some thoughts here on this Feige situation? Or you got something else?
No, I got some thoughts on. The only thing I was thinking was that that Marvel just got the rights back to the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, and Kevin Feige really started in Marvel with the X-Men. I mean, we wouldn't have Hugh Jackman
Right.
with the Wolverine type hair without Kevin Feige.
Right.
So I mean, it's to me, and also Marvel's right now, like 5 of the last 6 movies have easily made $1 billion for them, and to me, I don't know if Disney would want to move Kevin Feige fully into Lucasfilm when Marvel's just printed out cash at the moment.
Well, that's also
Miles gets you-
that's also true. But the other thing you got to realize that too is that he's also been there for 15 some odd years or more. Like you said, working on X-Men films. Maybe he wants to move. Maybe he wants to do other things because maybe he's like Dorina said or Reilly said, he's grooming somebody else to
and
take
it's also
over.
As much as it's also a collaboration.
Right.
It's not just him.
No,
He has a ton of people that are great at their jobs working.
And
with
he's
him.
in the family still. The difference is he's not leaving. He's not leaving the studio. He's still a part of the studio. So if there's conversation, the way I look at it is like with Filoni with Resistance, right? Filoni's an executive producer on Resistance. He's not as involved as he is in Rebels and everything else too.
Wars,
but there are people that he worked with on Clone Wars and other shows that now run that show, and it does. And
it just won an Emmy, didn't it?
It just won a Saturn Award.
That's what it is. Yeah.
So
same thing.
But yeah, so there are ways that it can happen that he can still be very involved in both movies and both franchises.
Yeah, but he might want that challenge. That's what a lot of people do.
Yeah,
I like it.
All right. So thank you for the call. Cody, let us know if we get somebody else.
I'm thinking about imagine Kevin Feige. He's like a general contractor and he builds this perfect neighborhood of beautiful houses, and there's no more land. Now he goes to find another piece of land to build the next perfect neighborhood.
Yeah, that's right. You want to be challenged in your career the same way that there are reports out there that he wants to take over Disney as a whole. Like once Iger steps down, right?
Yeah.
And
why not?
And he's got a very, very, very capable business mind. We've seen that. So why couldn't that be possible if he's not taking the job?
But then Kathleen could, like I said earlier, Kathleen could do that.
She could.
Yeah.
But the question is, that's a very different. That's like wanting to, run for president of the United States. What I mean is,
well,
very
anyone
different
can
jobs.
be president, Kristian.
Of course,
apparently.
But what? Well, that's right. But what I mean by that, any big job, no matter where you are, whether it's the president of Fox or president of wherever the fuck,
you get one question for Kathleen Kennedy.
But there are different things inside of that job that are a lot more stressful, and there are a lot of stressful jobs about running in particular, whether it's Marvel or Star Wars or any of those things.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a much bigger job, bigger responsibilities.
If you don't watch Succession right now, it's basically. Succession's it's basically about the Murdochs kind of, but if you added a little bit of Disney to it because they have parks and they have cruises and all that kind of stuff. So it's like a little bit of Murdoch, a little bit of Disney, whatever. You don't realize, like, as the CEO of that whole thing, you have parks, you have
all of it.
TV,
It's not just
Disney
one
Channel.
Right. Thank you. That's exactly what I meant. Is that there's just so much more than just this one particular property or business, because Lucasfilm's more than just Star Wars.
Totally.
There's a lot of other shit. But it's still not. It's a fraction of what Disney
and
has
it's
to do.
not just movies.
Yeah, Disney's got to run all
video
of it.
games.
So anyway, Cody,
Get
got
it.
somebody else? Hey, you're on Collider Live. What do we got?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Luke.
Hi, Luke.
My
Hello,
Luke. Was in Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Nice.
Ooh.
So shout out to fucking Mark Ellis.
Oh, yeah.
And the Demon Deacons.
Cool. Hell yeah.
But it was fucking Mr. Reginald Dwight, Elton John himself.
That was your first concert?
So, yeah.
Nice.
I was 5 years old.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, man.
Wow. Crazy, right? So,
Good
so
parents.
now,
Great
like,
parents.
I got to go see him on the farewell tour, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
'Cause he's coming back around. So anyway.
All right, you got a question for us today?
Yeah, I'm going to change the subject.
Sure.
Obviously, I love Star Wars because my name is Luke, but it's been going on for a minute. But I need to know.
Damn right, Luke.
I'm going to go see that Brad Pitt space movie tonight.
Yeah.
At Astra?
Ed Asner.
I need to know, should I take the edible that I have?
Yes.
For the movie?
Always take the edible.
100%. It's
Okay.
because it's visually stunning. The music is gorgeous. Space. There's a particular scene.
Josh's favorite.
You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a particular scene in space that I've actually never seen anything like it before that happens in this movie. The story itself, it's all right. It's fine. But
I was just hoping it to be more space stuff.
yeah,
And
it's very Terrence Malick-y.
It's
the
like
movie.
dad relationship.
It is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a slow burn, and I was okay with the slow burn for the majority of the movie. It was by the time we got to the end, what the overall wrap up was, I was like, that's it. All right. But visually, it just pays off.
My favorite headline from this whole movie from Ad Astra was, I think it was in Deadline 2 days ago, and it just said, Brad Gray, shooting in zero gravity is hard.
Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt.
No, Brad Gray.
James Gray.
Or James Gray,
Yeah,
sorry.
Brad
James Gray,
Gray.
whatever.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
put
my
a
bad.
quote from Collider Live on the poster now that should just say, take the edible.
Take the edible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well
Well, all right.
said,
Well, go ahead. Well, that's what we do in the show. I have no idea if it's legal where you are, but you didn't. Where we are, it is, so it doesn't matter. All right. So thank you so much for the phone call, Cody. Let me know if you got somebody else calling in. We got about 15 more minutes. Hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we got?
Hey, this is Jordan from Missouri.
Jordan from
Hello,
Missouri. What do
Jordan.
you got for us today?
Well, first, I just want to say, wild berries!
Wild berries. Wild berries. All right, Joe, what do you got for us today?
I actually had a question, which I'm really sad because last time I called in, I had a question for you and Mark Reilly, and I'd left Roxy out, which I know she's not there today.
Yeah,
but knowing that she's a big DC fan, this was actually a question too about DC.
Okay.
The Suicide Squad movie. Everybody seems to think that Idris Elba is going to be playing Bronze Tiger,
Yeah.
and that they're wanting to leave it open for Will Smith to possibly come back if they do another one, yada yada. But my only thing is, the problem I see with that is if they do that, Will Smith's character in the original Suicide Squad is tied directly to Ben Affleck's Batman. So wouldn't it make more sense to just recast Idris Elba as Deadshot?
Yeah, I think that
what
there's
do you
some.
guys think?
I do. I think that there's some other stuff going on with that too. I think that he originally was cast as Deadshot.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's probably some stuff that maybe some phone calls made afterwards, because I think that Will Smith probably still does want to play it, but didn't want somebody else recast, and and had that type of conversation. So I think the studio's playing nice because they have a very good relationship with Will Smith. So that's why you're not going to see Idris Elba as Deadshot.
Who did he say that Idris Elba was playing? Dead Tiger?
Bronze Tiger.
Bronze Tiger.
Oh, what's he do? What's he do?
I don't know, really.
He's very skilled with martial arts, and he has like Wolverine claws that are like brass knuckles.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Well, that goes back into what we were talking
Bronze
about.
Tiger.
That goes back into what we were talking about just before with the Star Wars conversation, right? It's like, so this, we don't know a lot about this Bronze Tiger, but it's Idris Elba.
Yeah.
So if Idris Elba and
that whole Suicide Squad, the new cast,
The
right?
whole
It's like
movie.
they're probably gonna have a bunch of new characters.
this
that we don't.
movie's going to be so significantly different from the first movie, from tone and just in general. It's going to be a very different movie. And if you set up brand new characters with characters that you've already been introduced to in the first movie, you have a brand new way to make some iconic characters.
Is Viola Davis still more Amanda Waller?
Yes.
Is she okay?
Yes.
Now, to
She
answer your,
was
but to answer
one
your
of the best parts of
question, yes, she was. To answer your question, it's just how they're going to tie everything in general to this new universe, or the universe in general. It's just it's kind of tricky at the moment.
But I also feel like, because I like DC movies more than most people, I think, and I don't care that they're connected.
Yeah, I don't either.
Like, I don't care if I enjoyed, I love Man of Steel, and I would love to see Henry Cavill again, but if they recast the Superman in the same universe, I don't care, as long as it's good.
You know who I thought connected it the best way possible to where it didn't cause any shit was Shazam.
Aquaman. Oh,
Shazam.
right. Shazam.
Shazam, because Shazam had Superman in it.
Shazam's great.
Shazam had mentions of Batman and Superman, but it wasn't Henry Cavill. It wasn't Ben Affleck. It was just Batman and Superman.
Exactly.
And they exist in the world, and there was no actual tie-ins, and they didn't have to rely on it, and it's one of their better movies.
And there was acknowledgement of these characters in the universe, similar to the Netflix Marvel shows, right? Where they acknowledge that the
like Daredevil
MCU,
season 1.
the MCU exists in the world, even though we're not going to see those same characters because of the tone.
Right.
Shazam might be like one of my favorite superhero movies.
It's really good.
It's really good.
Tailor-made for
Oh
you,
yeah, God, yeah.
I just hope they.
Hey, before
go for it, dude.
before I go, can I just get one real quick question out with
Sure.
all you guys? Because
Definitely.
all you guys are kind of the same wavelength with me when it comes to movies. If you had to meet one of these two action stars,
Go for it.
who would you rather meet, Sly or Arnold?
Arnold.
Well, you've met.
I've met Sly. I did meet Arnold actually. I met him, but that was like more of a red carpet interview talk. But sitting down and having a full-on conversation with, I don't know how to pull that answer out, because they're both like phenomenal storytellers, and like even the 6 minutes I got with Sly, I was like, fuck, I wish I was here for like another 2 hours. I think that, as much as it pains me to say, I think that if I had to choose between the two of them to sit down for an hour-long dinner, I would choose Sly.
I would go Sly.
I think just because of the overall, like I said the other day with Rocky and things that he had done, and the way this, being from New York, and just things that a little bit more similar.
I might go Arnold.
I know, I get it. There's no wrong answer here.
Yeah.
I'm Mexican. We obviously love Rocky.
Yeah,
yeah.
We love boxing movies, but Arnold just has his resume, like so many movies that I love, and it's not just Terminator, and it's not just Predator and all these.
Junior.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
True Lies.
Jingle all the way.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
Well,
I just
I feel that way about Sly.
But I feel that they're both very funny. I feel Arnold also would be cracking you up during the dinner.
Yeah.
Because I just go back to when I had my one-on-one interview with Joe Manganiello, and he told me that story. And the waiter comes up to Arnold's like, "Would you like some, milk for the coffee?" Milk is for babies. like that kind of stuff. I'm like, I want to hear those one-liners, but I would take Sly.
But then you would start talking like him, and then that would be bad.
I would much rather do my impression of Arnold to Arnold than I would want to do my impression of Sly to Sly.
I mean, there's been times where we've been out and there's been somebody in our midst with a German accent, and we, like my Danish Christian Harloff is clearly a German accent, right? And we get in the car and Amanda's like, "How hard were you containing your German accent?" And I would just be like, "I couldn't wait to get to the car so I could do it."
It's like having a bad gas.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
All right, let's take another call. Cody of the Halls. Hey, you're on Collider Live. Josh gets scared shitless tonight. Who's on the call?
Hey, what's going on? This is Joel from Texas.
Hey, Joel.
Hello,
Texas.
Joel.
What's going
I was
on, Joel?
just in Texas.
Oh, yeah, you were. You told us that in the beginning of the show. I remember. What do you got for us, Joel?
Well, you know what? Let's go with a Star Wars question.
Sure.
Now, on the Old Republic trailers, has Josh seen any of those at all?
Which
'Cause
one?
I think he would lose his mind on some of those. The Old Republic trailers?
Oh, no.
the trailers.
No. That was the one we were telling
The
you
video
about.
games.
So, the Old Republic, where the Sith and the Jedi just come and they have it's like a massive war with sabers.
No, I've never seen that.
We'll bring he'll bring it up for you.
Yeah, just
But
so you can just see in the background.
just the actual thing itself. Yeah, no, those trailers are great.
Yeah, and also with Feige running it, I hope he does something from the Old Republic, because I'd really like to see some of the old stuff, because there's like tons of, in the history and lore, there's tons of battles with Jedi and Mandalorians and Jedi and Sith.
Yep.
So the Battle of Malachor 5 would look amazing if they did it live action.
I agree. And you could set a shit ton of movies back there, and you can spin off TV shows in that area too, in that era too. So there's so much that could be had, but I don't think we're going to find out what he's doing until Celebration. I think that's when we're going to find out. Thank you for the phone call. Really appreciate it. We can do a couple more calls here. Hey, you're on Collider Live. Who do we got?
Hey, motherfuckers, it's Matt from fucking Maine.
It's becoming the new Saul.
Yeah.
What's up, motherfucking Matt from Maine? What do you got for us today, you cagey bastard?
Motherfucker.
Well, I was fucking listening to this shit, like the whole like Kevin Feige and all that fucking shit going on with Kathleen Kennedy. I mean, come on, man. Like, no matter what move she makes, the fans are gonna tear her down. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like,
Unfortunately.
it's kind of at that point. Like, even if she just wanted to retire, like, legit and shit, you know, these motherfuckers would be like, well, you ruined Star Wars, that's why she's leaving. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like,
She can't win now. That's kind of my overall point here is that
She should hire you as Matt as her PR guy.
And be good.
Seriously.
Dorina, oh my God. Let me tell you, all right, up here in Maine, it's fucking Stephen King, like, horror fucking
Oh,
land,
yeah.
especially this time of year.
Oh.
You would just fucking love it.
I'm
okay?
so jealous.
Dude, there's like buried witches every 100 yards.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dorina was one of them. She escaped from the pit 2 weeks ago.
I will not move to Maine.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to take Josh.
But
there he is.
going to your fucking point.
Josh, you do not want to go.
yeah, I know. But going to your point is that I think that's kind of where I think if you look at it PR business wise, it makes sense if you look at the timeline for where you announce it now. His movie, whatever the movie is, it comes out between 2 to 4 years. That gives you more than enough time for Kathleen Kennedy to put out another hit. Like Star Wars, Episode 9 is going to make $1 billion, so that's another hit under her belt.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
Mandalorian, right? But
She'll
Mandalorian,
drop a fucking another one out of her ass. You know, like it's not like it doesn't happen.
right? But Mandalorian's going to crush. These other shows are going to crush, and she's going to walk off and go, okay, now I've done it. Now I've shot. Now I have 1 miss and like 7 championships. You know, now I can go.
Sure.
You know what, Kevin, you did a great job in that movie. Take over, and that's kind of always will have been the plan, but it'll look more organic.
Like she's walking off the court.
Right,
man. Like,
right. And right now, you're still coming off of Episode 8, so there's still like, what do you got? Because Solo doesn't count. It's like Episode 8 is the one where everyone's
Rogue
like,
One counts.
Yeah, but that was before.
Right.
She goes. Remember, Rogue One was the one everyone thought that she was gonna. That was the one was gonna crash and burn her because of all the reshoots, and they said "fuck you," and it made $1 billion. Right. And people and fans.
And it's my favorite one.
And fans responded to it very positively.
Sure.
But Last Jedi did the exact opposite. It made $1 billion, but fans just now are fighting with each other inside. They let off a fart bomb in the middle of an elevator. So, all right. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you for the
Matt
fucking call, motherfucker.
Dorina, give me a New York. Say, hey, Matt, you motherfucker from Maine.
Hey, Matt, you motherfucker from Maine.
Get in that fucking car.
Get in that fucking car.
Now you get me that shovel.
Now you get me that shovel.
And get that motherfucking witch.
And get that motherfucking...
Yeah.
No. Witches are great.
No, Dorina. We're
Okay,
digging
yes.
up the witch.
Yeah, get that
We're going to do your
Oh,
spells.
okay.
That fucking
That
witch.
fucking witch is going to come up out of that ground and fucking do it.
That was really good.
Yeah, well, fucking it.
Yeah, not really. All right, hey, you're on.
Thanks, Kristian.
You're on Collider Live. What do we got?
Holy shit, this is Brad from Houston.
Yes.
Holy shit, Brad.
Stop stealing motherfucking Matt's shtick. Sorry, I'm just kidding. What's going on?
First of all, I don't know. I got a lot of appreciation for Saul.
But come on, dude, you are taking up the line.
He really is.
Yeah.
But here's
He's
what
not
else.
wrong.
But no. But here's the thing, though. Here is how I look at that. It depends on how you do it. If what Saul has done very, very well. Not only does he get in and find a way to hack in, because I'm convinced he works for the MI6. But it's can you become a character? Can you make your name, and do we remember you when you call it, like motherfucking Matt from Maine, right?
Yeah.
Not only does he have a shtick, but he also says things that are worth hearing. If people keep calling us, like, oh, this is Joe from hi, what do you got? I don't know. What else do you got? I gotta go.
I hope your mother-in-law calls now. Yeah.
Oh, hi. Oh,
Hey,
let me ask
the
you.
dog getting the fucking bacon is awesome. Love it too.
You're right.
So, what do you got for us today?
But
Brad in fucking
I
Houston.
just want to appreciate y'all. I just want to say I appreciate you guys.
Thanks,
Love
Brad.
Council and you guys and Rule of Two and everyone. Dorina, you guys are the shit.
Thank you.
And,
You're the shit.
We'll throw out a quick Star Wars question.
Sure.
How pissed are you going to be if they just don't address Rey's parents whatsoever in the next movie?
Parents, not pissed at all.
Yeah.
Do you just mean her background in general?
Background, we know that they're going to address because she's already said it. She's already said that you're going to find that out. Background, you're going to pretty much get a guarantee of it. If it doesn't happen at all, and they just ignore it, don't mention it, yeah, it'd be a little bit of a bummer. But parent-wise, no, I don't need to find out who her parents are, but I do need to find out where she comes from.
Because we think that evil
But
Rey.
if it's not parents, it's got to be a clone, right? So that seems like
Potentially.
giving it away. If you're not-
Potentially,
Vision.
unless she was one of these people very similar to
Anakin.
to where she was created by the Force or anything along those lines.
Maybe she's the actual chosen one.
You never know.
There you go.
You never know. So it's I think it's the easy and maybe lazy answer is it just depends on how they execute it.
Yeah, it's always.
Because we think that Rey in the trailer is evil, right? Like an evil clone.
I do.
Okay.
I do. I think that.
I think it's a dream sequence.
Yeah, I want it to be a clone, but
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards Vision.
I think a Vision and dream sequence is probably the more. But
yeah.
I get more. Not upset, but I would be bummed about it. That to me just seems like predictable and lazy.
My question would be, instead of if people would be more upset to not find who her parents are, is if people would be more upset to find out she's a Skywalker.
Yeah. How so? Yeah, but again, I think that's if you're listening to it, because like I said, even with the stuff with the clones, there's a version of that you can go, holy fuck, that's cool the way that they set that up. There's another version of it that you go, what? That's terrible. It's execution and writing. But thank you for the call. Appreciate
Can I
it.
ask you a simpleton question?
Yes.
I could even say a Sithilton question.
What is Star Wars?
What is this rule of two, right? I get the show that you guys have and everything, but like, okay, so Emperor, he had electric fingers, right?
Well, you could shoot Force lightning.
It's Force lightning. Okay,
It's
so,
actually just hands.
Yeah.
Okay, so and Darth Maul trained Palpatine.
No, Darth Maul was trained by Palpatine.
Oh, okay. So you have to keep passing, paying it forward with the Sith Force.
Yeah.
Well,
No.
apprentice that he had at the time.
You have apprentice, and the goal again is to what the Sith hope happens with their apprentice is that the apprentice becomes powerful enough to kill them.
Right.
That's what the Sith goal has always been for the majority of them. That
So
they're not going
Sidious,
to keep
Maul,
the
all those
power.
people.
Yeah, and if you're not qualified enough, you're out. Like because
Yeah,
Maul
you're gonna get killed.
Maul was kind of ousted even in after he gets cut in half, and then he comes back in the Clone Wars, and then Palpatine's like, nah, you're done. You got bested, and now I'm gonna fuck up you and your.
Yeah,
brother.
I got Dooku now.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
is that
Dooku.
Dooku?
Yeah, I didn't mean
Dooku
to-
becomes
And then
Palpatine's
but then he
trainer?
betrayed
Yeah.
Dooku.
Christopher Lee, yeah.
No,
To
no.
get
So
Anakin.
he was trained by Palpatine.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got
and then Anakin. Then he goes, "Do it."
Right.
And he was manipulating Dooku the whole time because you look at that one scene again. The novelization of Revenge of the Sith by James
Yeah,
Luceno.
so good.
Or is it Luceno? No, he did the first two beforehand. I forget who did the actual novelization. Anyway,
thought it
but
was.
it might be. But
Yeah, well.
whoever did the novelization of Revenge of the Sith did a great job. Was it? Who was that? Was it John Cena? All right. Well, John Cena is going to take us out because that's the end of the show here today, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you to our wonderful panel here, Dorina, Mark Reilly,
Stover.
Matthew Stover.
Tonight.
Cody Hall, Josh McCouga, Katee Sackhoff for calling in. Thank you guys so much. We are going to be covering the Universal Horror Nights at length next Monday or Tuesday once the video is done. Frank the Pumpkin King will be doing the editing of getting this thing for you guys. And Josh won't be on the show tomorrow, so he'll be recovering in his bed, quivering. So we will see you guys tomorrow. Get your tickets for the Schmodown Live, Orlando. That is right.
Son of a bitch.
The SchmodownLive.com.
Orlando.
And then also this weekend, Mike Kalinowski and Janine. Oh, too late. Come on. Have some pride. Janine and Mike Kalinowski go head-to-head this Saturday, 11:30 a.m. The SchmodownLive.com. Get your stream right now. See you tomorrow.
Hit it.